podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the weekend. It's time to Netflix and Kryll, but spelt correctly with a Y. I'm Sik and Nick, and you're on episode 134 of the XboxEra podcast. A quiet and intimate time with, as always, special Nick.
What's going on?
Hey, bro. And in the background, pushing all of the buttons and pulling all of the levers, it's Jesse, aka Don Cabeza. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm very well. I'm so shy. I'm going to go away. I'm good.
I love the fact that you pop up. It's my favorite thing. It's like having a little friend. We're relaxing a little bit today because those wily devils, the Xbox 2, decided to do their podcast the same time ours does. And that's making it a little bit quiet around here.
What do you do?
Almost like they're like more famous. Do we want to say that they're better? No, they're not better. They're just more famous. Is that a fair phrase? More famous.
Probably. I'm just glad now that the breakfast that I normally have before the show, I can now have it during the show. I've got my bag. That's the bag it comes from. So as all of you saw, there's a new intro video. We've started up a partnership with Control, which is the meal replacement drink. Again, this is probably just me being a bit transparent. This is stuff I've been drinking for the better part of 2 years before the show. And it was
and he's ripped.
A deal that I sought out. So it wasn't them. It actually wasn't even them approaching us. It was me going to them. So I thought, hey, I drink this stuff before the show. Now I'm going to start drinking it up. And I'm actually legitimately hungry. But yeah. So that's why I'm doing this shill thing. Got my bag in the background. You know, use the code XboxEra. The link is in our description, isn't it, Jesse? For Drink Control.
Yes, I put the link in the description.
Yes,
it'll be there every time.
Like I said, this stuff. Like I think I've said it before. Like I drink this stuff because it legitimately tastes amazing. Doesn't just taste good for a powder, like a lot of people say. This shit just tastes great. And my kids even like having milkshakes out of it. It's very nice. And I haven't had breakfast this morning. So now I'm drinking it on the show. Why not?
You know what, though? I have to admit, the voice for the intro sounds a little bit like... Have you seen Rick and Morty? With simple Rick's wafers, we take the delicious joy of being with one's family and together. That's what it reminds me of. I'm just like... It's great. I'd kill to have a voice like that, but I have a face for radio.
Yeah, I know. I like we were debating. I'm like, do I do the voiceover? Does John do the voiceover? But I'm like, my voice sucks for voiceovers. Like my voice would absolutely suck. Yours is way better for voiceovers.
Oh, thanks, man.
Way
British.
better.
It's the Britishness. It just comes through naturally. Just enunciate, darling. Enunciate. But hey, it's been a week since we were last here. A lot's happened since then. I suppose it's fair to say we better mention that guy, the Monitor 607 triumphant creation, because this week we launched ForgeEra, which is a little bit of a passion project, assuredly on my part, and a selfish one, but quite pleased with how it's all turned out. Like, I'm very surprised, to be honest with you, but delighted because the community has really latched onto it. We've seen big YouTubers like Sik and Nick, and creators like Unique and Infinite Forges talking about it and sharing content.
What about Mint Blitz? Mint
Blitz? I've seen him
Mint
playing some
Blitz.
apps. I haven't seen him specifically talk about the site yet, but
Isn't
like
he
we've
Aussie
seen-
too?
He is Aussie. You should reach out to him. See if we can get him on the show one time. But
Maybe.
like we've seen community managers from the Halo team following the site and interacting with it and retweeting content, and we are the only site that this works for right now, where you can build your own little creator profile. So we're super proud and we're super pleased, and it's all very cool. And it's great to see.
Imagine if you said the address so people could go see it if they're listening.
I don't know what it is. What's the address? I don't.
It's
What?
forge.xboxera.com.
What? Oh my god, it's so simple. It's so simple. You can also find it on our header on XboxEra.com, but it's your own app. Go check it out if you're listening to this podcast and haven't been paying attention, and you want to make Halo content, or you want to download customs and cool stuff that the community is making. There's lots of cool stuff, and it's growing and growing and growing. We're going to be doing some video features and things like that, so keep an eye on our YouTube channel for more. Fun.
I'm using this. Boy, this is snappy. This is fast.
What's that? The app?
Yeah, I'm on it right
I
now.
know.
I'm using it. Holy cow.
Oh, did you see that the Windows Central wrote about us as well?
Yeah, Brendan Lowry. Thank you, Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan, you legend.
What'd they say?
That was really cool. They said really snappy, super cool. This is a must-have for any Forge fan, Halo fan. I actually forwarded the review to our developer. Like, I wouldn't say it's a review, but forwarded the comments of that article because for inside story or backstory of that is that idea was thought up about, I would say, 45 days before launch. So whenever we got the confirmed date that the winter update would launch on November 8th, probably about 2 or 3 weeks after that, was when, hey, if we wanted to do this, could we launch by November 8th? And he thought about it for a while and he went, yeah, but I want this, this, and this. So I had to come up with all the workflows and everything else. And he absolutely knocked it out of the park. We were working all through that weekend, right up to the last minute to make that happen. And then having some fun with a little bit of viral launch. Did you like my monitor, by the way? Did you like my little voiceovers for that? I had some fun.
So fake. So fake.
So fake.
The whole thing was so fake. I can't believe how effing fake it was. What was that all about? I kept reading the replies. I kept reading the replies to that tweet. I'm like, what are you people talking about? Like, what do you think it is? Like, what do you mean?
We're not going to be announcing the return of 3-4 Guilty Spark to Halo. It's not going to be us.
He's already had a full, he's already had a full story in the books. He's come back and gone in the books.
It's mental.
That was so weird. Some of those overly aggressive replies. Like,
It's scary. People are
oh
scary.
my God. So aggressive.
Do you know what else cool happened this week? 15,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, we just hit
Congratulations.
15K, which is good.
Primarily to
And-
Jeffy for a lot of the hard work there.
And me, look for this, all of this.
The talent, yeah? The talent.
Yeah, all of this. I've noticed some people in the chat. Yes, that is why I wore the Batman T-shirt that I have. R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. It was very sad, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I read. Yeah, that is sad. 66 years old.
66, so young. Like that is like
young.
around my parents' age. That's real young.
Man.
Yeah, he has an amazing. Speaking of amazing voices, he has an amazing, or had an amazing voice.
He did.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm seeing in the chat, Storg, what did I lie about? What did I lie about?
I don't know.
You lied to us, John. What was the lie? Tell me the lie.
He was one of the people in the replies.
Was he? So fake, man.
Oh, the fake thing. I don't understand what everyone thought that we were doing with that.
They thought we were like trying to leak some future Halo news because they're stupid and they're used to people actually making stuff up, but they're idiots. So they couldn't realize we were just
Like I do.
advertising ourselves.
I think your reply. Okay. Well, it's fake as in it's weird as in it's a thing that we're doing to do a thing that we're doing. Like, what do you want this to be?
I don't know.
Madness, I say. But hey,
are we gonna buy a blue check mark for XboxEra?
Yeah,
we'll buy a blue check mark.
What is this guy doing?
He's doing Game's done quick, but for how to ruin a social media platform.
Can I? Let's
It's
just talk a
been
little.
so
Let's talk a
funny.
little bit of truth about Elon Musk. What did Elon Musk invent?
Nothing.
Correct answer. Ding 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 ding. He bought
Yeah.
his way into Tesla. He bought his way into Twitter. He bought his way into PayPal. He has been responsible for none of these money-making inventions. He's just been a dick of a business guy. That's it. That's who Elon Musk is.
Didn't he
I
have
put a picture
didn't
up
he
in
have,
case anyone doesn't know who he is.
Didn't he have rich parents?
Yes, he came from money, as I understand it.
And
But-
an
Diamond
emerald mine in
mining,
South Africa,
maybe?
I believe. Yeah.
Diamond
Something
mine
like
again.
that.
I don't.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
I watched a very lengthy and interesting YouTube series about how he overtook these companies and what he did to get his name in and change history. So that he's a founder of PayPal. Not true. He apparently he wanted to call PayPal X.com, and no one wanted to touch it because it sounded like a porn site.
Sounds like a video game.
It does sound like a video game as well. But yeah, like, man, if he'd have just gone in and gone, hey, everyone, like, let's just find a way to make money and not fight everyone and being a dick, he might have been all right. But man, I don't understand how these people succeed. It's like failing upwards on a grand scale.
I have
Blows
to
my
admit,
mind.
though, like, the last few days have been hilarious. I forgot to send the tweet to Jesse. Maybe I could send it to him now from Discord. Because now that... So I didn't... Again, remember, I'm old, so I sometimes I don't understand stuff. So I mentioned last week about a friend of mine who got 160,000 likes for pretending to be Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
That sort of shocked me a little bit, because when I look at Twitter and I see an account tweet, I look at their handle, I look at everything.
Yep.
So I didn't understand the concept. Like, so when it came out that everyone was like concerned that people would fake other people if they bought a check mark, I'm like, how? Like, your handle is your handle.
Well,
So
Eli Lilly found out the hard way this week.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
everyone.
not just them. I think
It's
it's a
Hilarious
couple
Lilly's
of
I
companies.
was
now.
loading that up. Here it is.
Yeah. But see, that to me, that's the good side of it. Like, it's good to show everyone that the stock market is made up stuff. And that's what our world is built on. That's a good thing, to show them that it's all just make-believe. That part of it doesn't bother me. That's the part of it I like. Like, I saw this hilarious tweet today, and I was lying in bed before you had to come on this show, and I was laughing so much that some guy just bought a check mark and turned himself into Volve software instead of Valve, and his logo's the Steam logo. He's like, hi everyone, this is Volve. We're going to do Half-Man 3. And I was like, it's the dumbest tweet. but I
Half-Man 3.
Something like that, and I could not stop laughing. It was the funniest thing. Where is this tweet? There it is. Volve Softwork. Hello, it me, Volve. I am here to announce Half Guy 3 out tomorrow. In brackets real, in brackets not fake. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Where is it? I'm putting it in the private chat, Jesse. It's so funny. I just absolutely... And the guy's handle is gradient lol. Like, so if you just check the handle, I don't understand how these accounts can fool everyone. And did you see the dude that did Nintendo? He made himself out to look like Nintendo and had Mario doing this to everyone. And it lasted like a good 2 or 3 hours.
You know
before
why it
everyone
lasted a good
realised.
2 or 3 hours? Because Elon Musk fired the entire content and moderation team, apparently.
Oh, man. It's... That side of all this has been hilarious.
Yeah.
That side of it has been amazing. Like, I'm not going to lie.
It's literally
so
just
good.
like watching a slow motion car crash. Like, this guy
I know, but like...
doesn't know what he's
we
doing.
can't... Yeah, we can't lose Twitter.
No,
Can't lose
look,
Twitter.
real talk. Twitter as a tool for us to communicate with our audience
Yeah.
is invaluable. Like
Like...
it is a big part of where we generate traffic from, and the idea that can
Mastodon's
go away.
not good. Mastodon's
No.
not good. Like, I joined Mastodon about 5 years ago and tried to give it a go the last time everyone was saying they were going to abandon Twitter.
Yeah,
And it's just not very good. It's one change away. It's literally one change away from replacing Twitter, and for some reason they won't do it. It's decentralized, So there's all these servers that in instances you can join, but it's so weird and just I don't know.
Oh dear, what a shit show.
Super
But hey,
chat already.
We've got a super chat, yeah, from Emil.
Yeah, Emil. Just a quick one. If I recall correctly, you were about to invite Parris on the podcast last year. What happened? Is this still on the table?
We would have loved to have had Parris.
Ask Parris, Emil. Ask Parris.
We wanted to have Parris on.
Yeah,
we did.
We asked Parris, and he said he was busy. Try again later. So we tried again later, and then I guess he was busy again. So like I said, I harass people and bother people enough, but I also am slightly old enough to take hints. So I said, okay.
We don't want to be a pest. We don't want to be a pest.
We don't want to pest the people. If Parris legit wanted to be on the show, we follow each other on Twitter. He can DM me and say, "Hey Nick, I'm cool to jump on now if you want."
We'd be happy to have Parris on. I'd love to have Parris on. He's done a lot of, from Gamer Tag Radio and beyond, and now with the Xcast, and he's done a lot of really, really cool stuff. So
yeah,
it's kind of a bummer that we don't have Parris on. Really,
if he wants to jump on,
I blame our forum, just like Travis was talking about in chat. He joined the forum, immediately had someone attack him, and then quit.
He did have someone attack him about the Cyberpunk. To be fair, like straight away. So
I mean, there's a debate to be had about thick skins and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good impression though, right? I get it. Like if I joined,
it's not. But okay, but like he's still on Twitter. I'm sure he cops a fair bit of crap on Twitter.
That's true. But he doesn't have to. He can probably block people on Twitter. Like he doesn't have to put up with our community being dicks. And they did literally just jump on him as soon as he joined. So I do feel for him a bit there.
Did they?
Yeah, man. They were straight off the bat, like, hey everyone, welcome. And then one person said hello, and then the next three posts were like, Parris, your chair. It was just geez, guys. Gamers get hung up on some real weird shit.
Don't I know it?
Really
don't I know it?
Bizarre. Why are you mad about this? I don't quite understand, but okay stuff.
I want to know what I'm going to do about the timestamps of this whole discussion for the last 20 minutes. I don't know what the timestamp's going to be. I don't know what the timestamp is going to be. This has just been nothing. We usually open this show. What?
I don't know if you noticed, but I got a chair. See it right here?
Yeah.
See this chair
too.
I'm aware of your chair, Jesse.
Are we getting those chairs?
No, we're not. We're not getting those chairs, Nick.
Why?
Right? Because
there was a review sample.
Yeah. Someone
can't review it again.
Jesse's going to be getting one of these awesome shakers for him to have when he streams.
It's a good $15 value. It's a nice shaker. This chair was $16.
It actually is a cool shaker. It's actually very weirdly solid.
I love that. I like that noise.
It's full on this thing. But yes, fruity flakes. That's my one. That's
Fruity Flakes.
You know when you have a bowl of Fruit Loops and when it's soaked into the milk and then you drink the milk once you're out of the Fruit Loops? That's how that tastes. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Man.
It's so amazing.
I can't do Fruit Loops that sugary as cereal.
Really?
I can't do milk. I hate milk.
What? Oh, you can have this with water. I have it with milk, but it tastes just as good
something
with water.
That with milk, but actual cereal milk, down the drain for me. I can't do it. I just don't. I'm not that into milk.
I see,
not a cow.
I see a chat in a chat from Brit asking about the chair in Australia or UK. Jesse, could you elaborate on the chat?
I was told right now they are an American company, only making them in America. Shipping them worldwide would be a lot of money.
Expensive,
so they are working.
Expensive.
They're working with companies in Europe and abroad to make the chair there. So then shipping is cheaper, and I believe it's Q1 for you, John, and then you can save up and buy a chair.
Q1 next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was their goal for Europe. Yeah.
They should send us
You're
the
still
chair,
kinda
'cause then
counting.
people will get to see the chair, like on the show.
They have sent a million of them. Like every Halo segment now that they film, all the Halo Championship series all have this chair. This chair is pretty goddamn fantastic. I can sit in it. I've done 14, 15-hour days doing reviews and streams, and I get up and I feel fine. Zero issue.
Okay.
It's very nice.
Okay.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. All right. Well, onto what the hell we've been playing. Actually, my goodness, where are we today?
I was wondering when we were going to get to that.
So
Killing
Nick,
time while waiting for the Xbox 2 to end.
Yeah, maybe that. What have you been playing this week, Nick? Anything interesting?
I have been playing this. Hold on. There. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. So yes. I got the controller too because I buy more controllers than I do games.
Fair.
As people are discovering. So thanks to console sharing, I saved $125 and I've been playing God of War Ragnarok.
An amount of money.
I'm about 15 hours in to God of War Ragnarok.
So nearly completed?
No.
Nearly completed the tutorial.
No way am I nearly completed.
Can you quit cutscenes?
No, it will not let me skip cutscenes, which is so annoying. It's so annoying that I can't skip the cutscenes. And like, I made the mistake of mentioning that on Twitter, that I'm annoyed I can't skip the cutscenes. And people are like, so what's the point of playing the game? I'm like, is this the world that we live in now? Where people don't play video games to play a video game? Like, they play a video game to watch movies and like... I just... It's sad. It may... Again, I'm old. I get that I'm old, but like, it's sad to me that video games aren't about being video games anymore. Like, it's... Like, got the OG trilogy of God of War, I didn't fall in love with God of War because of the cutscenes. My wife enjoyed the cutscenes because she loves Greek mythology, so I was kind of forced to watch cutscenes in the OG God of Wars because she liked watching the cutscenes and the story about Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I fell in love with God of War because of the game, the actual game, and the gameplay, and how tight it was, and how nice it looked, and that's what I fell in love with. And the level design and the scale of everything. Like those moments where you're playing through this entire level, which is inside, you get outside and you find out that you're on the back of a Titan the entire time. Stuff like that's amazing. That's what I fell in love with.
Yeah.
I didn't fall in love with cutscenes. Like, if I want to watch a movie, I'll just go watch a movie. I'll just go watch a movie if I want to watch a movie.
That's considered old school thinking now. Like, people...
I don't get it. I just...
Like, for me, I can't say that.
Can I push back a little? Because I think
back a little.
There are some people who really care about graphical showpieces for like list scoring. But for me, a good story simply enhances great gameplay. It does.
I don't deny that. I don't deny... Yeah. I never said stories shouldn't be in games. I've never said that once. And all I want to do is skip the cutscenes. Just let me skip them. And for a game that champions accessibility features, to me, that's one of the most basic ones. And it's not there. Just let me skip the cutscenes. If I want to miss out on the story, then let me miss out and let me play your game. Because Ragnarok's a perfectly good game. I mean, it's like some of the reviews had mentioned. You can still tell when you play it. It's a PS4. It's been held back by the PS4, but it's still to me that's more a testament to the PS4 more so than anything else. Like the PS4, like the 360 before, it was one of those consoles where you could get the most out of it fairly easily, which is why, and obviously talent plays a major role in that, which Sony Santa Monica have always been. But my issue, and I've complained many times on this show about how PlayStation exclusives are reviewed, at least the big hyped ones.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that I've said many times. That's the other thing I forgot to give Jesse before the show. So I found my post
Which
on
one?
Resetera
Oh,
where I voted for God of War. Where I voted for God of War for Game of the Year. I actually found that post just so people don't think I'm making that up.
He's making it up.
But my problem is with these games, reviewers don't critique them. They're just ads. And as a result of that, they don't talk about what's actually wrong with the game. You can still give a top score for a game and still point out its flaws when it has them. And God of War 2018 had flaws. But the problem was, because none of the reviews, or at least most of the major reviews, like your IGNs and that, didn't point out legitimate flaws, none of it was fixed for Ragnarok. So my biggest gripe with 2018 God of War was the upgrade equipment menu UI system is just garbage. It was convoluted, worthless, just crap. In Ragnarok, it's just as bad, if not worse.
Oh.
Why? Because no one pointed it out in the first game, because they were all tripping over themselves to give it a 10 out of 10 and talk about how it made them feel and the emotions they felt. But the actual game itself, they weren't saying anything about it. And they weren't talking about the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, there's little actual objective
critique
conversation about how these systems work great. It's all about how the story is delivered. And Jesse, to your point, I think story in video games can be incredible, and it is super important. But my primary goal of playing a game is to see story delivered in a way that only the medium of a video game can deliver a story. And that's what bugs me, is that more and more, like, look, not played it, so I'm not talking about Ragnarok here. I'm talking in general. My love of video games stems from, and we've had this conversation tons of times on this show, right? Tale of Two Brothers. That moment, we all know, if you've played the game, you know the moment I'm talking about. That is the game conveying and using the story to deliver an emotional impact through gameplay, not through "I am your father," not through a narrative, but like not just through words or good acting or great visuals, but through the gameplay, and that's so fucking great. We don't see enough of it.
That's like, if you look, like, for me, the three of the best examples of delivering the story while you're playing the game is Halo CE. Yeah. I knew what was happening in Halo CE. The cutscenes in Halo CE aren't cutscenes that tell the story. They're cutscenes that just take you from one level to the next and show you how you got there.
They're corridors to transition.
They're not cutscenes that are delivering the story. All the story is delivered through Cortana in your ear the whole time, going, yep. That's how the story is delivered. So I knew what was happening in Halo through that. Bioshock. I knew what was happening in Bioshock because it was all in the environment, and it was in the dude that was in the voiceover, and it was in the audio logs that you found. And so I, again, knew exactly what was going on in Bioshock without any cutscenes. Like, people were, like, going ham on me because of, like, it's not that I don't want story. I mean, I personally don't care that much about story. If a fantastic game has a bad story, who cares? It's still a great game.
Yeah.
But if a terrible game has an amazing story, who cares? I could have just watched the movie. Like, I just... In the end, video games are video games, and video games can do things movies and books and music can't. Yeah. So why is one of the things I don't like? I shouldn't blame Sony for it. They're just the main culprit. But one thing I don't like is that we're heading in this direction where we're relying more and more on other entertainment mediums to support video games. It's like, why? Like, video games are so much more unique in what they can do and how they can connect with us as players. Why rely on other entertainment mediums for? Like,
man, you're preaching to the choir, bro.
And the irony is, Sony is in the box seat and the prime position to be able to do it anyway. Like, Sony is actually the one that doesn't need cutscenes to deliver the story. You know why? Because there's so much slow walk and talk and chatter with your offsiders that are always with you in these games that you shouldn't need all the cutscenes.
I have to admit, that's one thing I have seen a lot of, a conversation around characters that are supporting you in games, telling you how to progress, and like how much of a...
Oh, that I understand. That's just modern gaming because there's more casual gamers these days, and they want to bring more people. It's like it's almost like an accessibility thing. Like I get that. That part doesn't bother me. That's never bothered me in these games. Whatever. I mean, Gears of War, you had your team with you and your squad with you, and I think that's been a thing in games longer than people realize.
Yeah.
My thing with PlayStation's games is you've already got that offsider that you're constantly talking back and forth with. So deliver the story that way. But if you want to have your cutscenes, that's fine. Just let me skip them. Last of Us Part 1, let me skip them. Thank God. Where Ragnarok's just making me watch them. It's just
Do you resent it for that very reason?
It's the game itself. The game itself is good. I mean, if you've played 2018, then you'll know exactly what to expect.
That's so
so far, I haven't come across any grinding like the first one forced on me, which is good. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying that, like a lot of, so Metal Gear Solid 2, I think, was the first game that did the switcheroo and you weren't playing as Snake, you ended up playing as Raiden. Halo 2 then had you switching between Chief and Arbiter. Last of Us 2 then went between Ellie Abby, and Ragnarok now has, again, hopefully I'm not spoiling because I've seen plenty of people posting it on Twitter and talking about it on Twitter, so hopefully I'm not spoiling.
You gave a heads up.
You now can play as, there's sequences where you play as Atreus.
Spoilers!
The son. And the funny thing is, this is probably going to sound a little bit sacrilegious for someone who's loved God of War as much as I have over the years, but I think I'm actually finding playing from a combat perspective, purely from a combat perspective, I think I'm actually finding Atreus more enjoyable than Kratos to play as, because Atreus has a blend of ranged attacks as well as melee, where Kratos is pretty much restricted to just melee. I mean, I know he throws his axe, but I find it's not the same. Atreus has the arrows and all different options for his arrows. So I find I'm actually kind of enjoying playing as Atreus more than playing as Kratos. But like Modern Warfare 2, I did come across a sequence, and I won't say which sequence and who I was playing as, but man, did it outstay its welcome. Like, it just went for a long, long time, and I'm just... I get frustrated when that stuff happens. It's like, don't people play this game before release to say, hey, guys, this bit drags on a little bit. Let's just trim it down somewhat. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, it's good. It's like the first God of War. It's a Metroidvania. I don't know if many people realize that God of War is actually a Metroidvania, as in the 2018 and Ragnarok. I will say, for a Metroidvania, I'm in this weird patch. So the game starts by giving you a hell of a lot of different abilities, all in quite quick succession. And now I've just gone hours without a new... So you know how...
annoying, though?
Yes, so I've hit a point in the game where I'm seeing all these points where I know I need a new ability to be able to get there, but I still don't have that ability yet. And I've been seeing those points for a long time now. I feel like as a Metroidvania, if you're showing me those things so frequently and you still haven't given me the item I require to do it, there's something wrong. Like, you should have given it to me by now.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get the pacing of that right in a Metroidvania for it to work properly. Like, I think Ori did it quite well.
Yeah, like
Ori...
You knew something was coming.
Yeah, Ori was masterful at saying, okay, now it's time to give you this new thing. Here you go. And all of a sudden you can go back to other places you remember seeing. Where in Ragnarok now, it's almost like a trigger point. I've hit this point where I'm seeing all these things, which is they're like little holes in the wall with air gushing out of them. And you can see that leads to a place I can't get to.
That would annoy
And
me.
I've hit this point in the game where I keep seeing these everywhere and can't do anything about it.
Man.
And yes, Trav, I was just about to say Rise of the Tomb Raider was also, like, Rise of the Tomb Raider is my favorite 3D Metroidvania. It's perfect. It's not too big, it's not bloated. You've got your small little hub worlds which are open, but within this little open space, it gives you those abilities at a nice pace, and Rise of the Tomb Raider executed it perfectly. That's still the best example of it. I'm not saying that means that Rise of the Tomb Raider is or isn't better than God of War Ragnarok. That's not what I'm trying to say here.
Careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that Rise of the Tomb Raider executed on the Metroidvania principles better than God of War has, in the way it delivers the upgrades and the new stuff you need to access areas that you see you can't access. Where God of War sort of just threw a whole bunch of them at the start and then has given me almost nothing for like hours and hours and hours, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, it is a good game. Whether it's funny, in my post for 2018 Game of the Year, 2 of the games I had, and one of them was weird. So game number 1 was God of War, game number 2 was Mario plus Rabbids. But Mario plus Rabbids didn't come out in 2018, it came out in 2017. So I'm not sure why it was in my 2018 vote. There must have been a rule tweak or something. But then those 2 sequels both came out this year. So whether I consider Ragnarok better than 2018, I don't know yet. I haven't been playing it long enough. Like I said, I've put about 15 hours in, and I don't know if I've put in enough time to say if I like it more than 2018 yet. They're very, very similar games. Like, so far I haven't noticed anything hugely different from 2018 that makes me say, oh my god, this is like definitively better than the first game. And again, that's not a knock on Ragnarok. 2018 was an extremely good game. My 2018 Game of the Year. Where generally there are sequels in video games where it's like, this is definitively better than the first. Like, to me, the biggest example of a sequel that was like objectively better than the first game is Assassin's Creed 2. You're muted.
I was bang saying yes, 100%, because Assassin's Creed 2, when they opened up and then they gave you the house to redo, I don't know why, but that just was like, oh yeah, like I had an objective within the objectives, and I absolutely love Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed 2 to me is, I mean, obviously Street Fighter 2 is the obvious one, but that's a little bit different. Have you played Street Fighter 1? Like, Street Fighter 1 to Street Fighter 2 is... Yeah, that's like ancient, but if we're talking more in modern games where sequels are far more iterative, I'm talking in that space, Assassin's Creed 2 is probably, to me, the best example of how a sequel gets noticeably better than its predecessor.
Yeah.
For me, with God of War Ragnarok versus 2018, I think it's up for debate. I don't think it's 100% definitive that, again, based on my so far 15 hours, I don't know if I'd call it definitively better. But they have made little improvements. And that's what I mean by iterative. It's all small little things that improve the game overall. But that's another one. Rise of the Tomb Raider versus Tomb Raider 2013. That's another one where, like, Rise of the Tomb Raider is, like, clearly better than Tomb Raider 2013.
Yeah. I really
but, yeah, Ragnarok's been good. It's good so far. I am getting that itch where when I'm not playing it, I want to be playing it. And I think part of that is the Metroid, because I love my Metroidvanias. So I think part of it is that Metroidvania thing where I want to go back and get a new ability and then I get frustrated because I can't get all the collectibles in an area before I move on, which is a thing my OCD likes to get me to do. Like, I want 100% an area before I move on to the next area. You can't do that in a Metroidvania because there's stuff you need to unlock by getting an ability later. That's why I love Metroidvania so much. But yeah, so I've probably talked enough about God of War Ragnarok.
I was going to say, but you were really, really into talking about it, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, because I'd like to be. I don't know, like.
I like to be.
I do like to point, like, for people. I don't know, for people that watch us or read reviews, like, I like to talk. At least I think I like to talk about everything, the good and the bad.
No, that's a good thing, man.
You can give a game 9 out of 10 and still point out legitimate flaws. That's okay. Like, you don't think that just because you've pointed out a flaw, that means you can't give out. I mean, how many times have we all read reviews where you see a score of 10 out of 10, but then you read the text and it reads like a 7 or an 8, and
God
vice
of War
versa.
Ones that start out with, despite all of its issues, and it's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, oh, all right, it's a weird way to start it out for a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like...
I think people...
You got to remember, Nick, most of these people were having a really hard time crying so much that they probably just forgot about some of the bad parts, and they couldn't remember to talk about.
My biggest frustration, that upgrade system. Like, and I saw, again, I'm not going to name names because I don't like pylons. Like when people just pile on someone, which we're going to probably talk about later as well. But I'm not going to name this person that I follow on Twitter, but they're a developer at a very prominent studio. And I saw them tweeting about God of War Ragnarok, and it was so... validating to see them have the same issues I had with Ragnarok. And I just wanted to reply to him and say, dude, this is the problem with reviewers tripping over themselves to give them 10 out of 10s. They just gloss over legitimate flaws as if they think it's an attack on the game. Like, he was tweeting and he's like, this menu system, what's up with this menu and upgrade system? I'm like, yes, this menu and upgrade system is horrible. It's just... It's so convoluted, and you have to see it. You have to see it in action and witness it yourself to understand what I'm talking about. But it's so bad, and I don't see any of the reviews talk about it. Like, I read the IGN review, and like 50% of that review is talking about how he felt and this and the story. And I'm like, I don't care. Get to the game and how the game plays. And then I saw the reviewer talk about the menu and upgrade system, saying that it's an improvement on the first one. And I'm like, did we play the same games? Like, did you even notice what was happening? Did you even upgrade any of your equipment or equip new equipment or add runes to anything or amulets? And this, there's the upgrade and menu. Like, Last of Us Part 2 had it perfect. Last of Us Part 2 was nice and streamlined and simple. Here's your gun. Here you go. You found a workbench. Upgrade your gun with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And there's 3 steps. So you got to have enough of the currency to upgrade it. No worries. Nice and simple.
Makes sense.
And most of PlayStation's games are like that. But with God of War, I don't know what they think they're doing in God of War. I don't know if... I don't play JRPGs, but maybe it's a thing to JRPGs. I don't know. Like... It's just so messy and convoluted, and the most frustrating part is that in most cases I haven't even seen a tangible effect of what I've upgraded. Like, generally in these games, you usually see it on screen. Like, there's a tangible effect that it has. In this, I'm not seeing it much. And it was the same with 2018. I didn't really see much of a tangible effect that my upgrade had. It's just... But yeah, it was nice to see a developer point it out. Like, someone who's just open and honest, and they were just playing and they're like, what's up with this menu system? I'm like, yes, my God, why isn't anyone talking about how bad it is? Like, and it's an integral part of the game. This is why it's frustrating that it gets glossed over, because now, you know what's going to happen in the next God of War? It's going to get worse. Yep, it's going to get worse. And Corey or Eric or whoever else is making the next God of War, they're not going to see any complaints about their upgraded menu system, and they're just going to implement an even worse one. And it's just frustrating. Like,
that's a scenario that could happen.
It's just.
But hey, speaking of frustrating experiences, Jesse, you've been playing some interesting games this week. I saw a review drop, which I think earned, unfortunately for that, our lowest score ever. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that would be called Police Simulator. Patrol Officers. I even opened it up with like a little fun. Boy, I've never played something so broken. We got like 7 emails about this one. They really, really wanted wanted us to cover it. It's just broken in like every way imaginable. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're skating when you move. You keep seeing the same animations over and over again. You keep doing the same. Everyone in the so you can have something to do. Everyone in the city is seemingly a drunk. There's always drunk driving going on. In 20 or 30 minutes, I arrested
they live in
probably
Southend.
15 or 20 people. The textures look terrible. It's all asset store stuff. As you can see if you click in the left stick to go between walk and run mode. And so if you're in run mode and you just barely move the stick, you're just like running in place. But I've also never had a review get so many people angry because I didn't like the game. And I am harass, as I was told. I am harass. These are small devs, not AAA. So don't harass. Which means
how
I
is
just
that
don't give my opinion.
It's an objective opinion on a product.
And the
People
biggest
need to get to grip here, man.
Well, the biggest issue is this is a German developer making the city of Brighton in America. It doesn't look like an American city. It doesn't feel like an American city. You can't act like an American cop. I couldn't plant any evidence.
That's going to make a really inappropriate thing.
If I pull my gun out and just shoot someone, I don't get to plant evidence on them. The game just ends. It's not realistic at all.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so the whole thing, it looks really bad. It runs really bad. Supposedly, it's not as buggy on PC. So this port is potentially worse, but also the people that were talking to me, I'm just like, I don't believe them because they're so vehemently defending everything about this game.
You think
avoid it
they
at all costs?
might not be real customers?
No, I think that these simulator games are a lot like you goddamn survival horror maniacs, where I play a game like Madison that is objectively bad in most metrics, but then gets like a 75 because
people love that genre.
The bar for that genre is so sadly low, it seems like, because people are just used to everything being like scorn and just so being terrible. As long as it looks okay, they flip their shit and they're super happy about it, and they're like, but it's the game and the genre I love. I want it to be good, so I'm willing to overlook a whole bunch of other things, and that definitely seems to be. See, look, I shot that lady in the head and shift over. I got to restart my day. Bullshit. That is not how it works here, Germany. Yeah, like it's trying, and I'm holding a sign that says "Stop Police." That's not a thing in America, but that's how you supposedly pull people over when it's normally just freaking you're in your car and you shine your lights on them and intimidate them. It takes a very serious thing in the country that's had a lot of major issues lately and gamifies it in a way that just both feels bad and is not fun. There's nothing enjoyable about it. But like I've said in the comments to people like, hey, I like this. I'm like, good, great. I'm glad you enjoyed spending $40 on this game. I couldn't imagine.
Go nuts.
It's just, boy. I haven't heard back from the PR about it. I don't know if we'll do any more of their games. I had to be honest. Most PR are very nice. I gave a 4 out of 10 to Lost Ruins from Dangan Entertainment, and they've already sent us multiple things to review again. So
yeah, you'd hope that PR recognize.
We're not all Sony.
We're not out to ruin your lives, but we as a publication, our job is to objectively critique what you are giving us, and if in our opinion it's bad, well, we've got to tell the truth. Guess what? That's how it works. Oh man, but yes, it is what it is. But
lest you get phone calls from that publisher questioning
Your tone.
some of the issues you had or
Your
your tone.
tone.
Because I'm sure, that doesn't happen with a certain publisher
Nope.
where phone calls are made.
Not going to make any aspersions whatsoever.
Or maybe review
And
codes
we do
just
have,
stop being sent.
Yeah, Steve-aver. We do have multiple games we're reviewing. I can't talk about one, so I'll call it embargoed. Expect to review an embargoed closer to embargoed's launch. That's it. John
Did
is
you call
working
it
on
How did you pronounce that? Steviva?
Stevivore. What is it?
Steviva.
I always called it Steviva. I always called it
Yeah, yeah.
Steviva.
That's cool. I've only ever seen it in writing. I've never heard someone say the word. So
That's
I'll
an
call it
Aussie site
Stevivore
too.
just to annoy you.
Yeah, Steviva.
But while I was working on Embargoed and Evil West, which you can expect closer to launch, John, haven't you been working on Somerville?
I have been working on Somerville. You can expect my review.
I say closer to launch.
Oh, okay. Closer to launch.
Yeah, you literally can't say a day or a time, but for all of them, they're always either before or right at launch, so expect it in that general time frame.
Yeah.
Only
yeah.
Sony seems to be okay with saying it's coming out right now.
Yeah. But yes, I've been playing through Somerville. I can't give my impressions or thoughts, but I completed it today. And I'm digesting it and giving it some serious thought. But I've captured lots of footage. It's a tricky one because these are the kind of games that do, although they don't have a narrative in a strict sense, you don't want to spoil where the journey takes you. So I'm going to try and put up some obscure footage that I feel
Oddly enough,
conveys the tone.
Embargoed's a lot like that too. We got 2 in the same week.
Yeah. So
It'd be rough.
yeah, we're going to do that. So it's been interesting. We did drop a review for Garfield Lasagna Party, which I didn't know was
Yeah, I saw
happening
that.
and read today. What?
Yesterday, Fairy, or 2 days ago, Gyotso, Fairy Empire Baki said, "Hey, Garfield Lasagna Party came out. Could you get me a code?" I sent an email to the PR company for it and had one within 20 minutes. It's
Wow.
actually
Wow.
really, I think that is one of those cases where pretty much every time somebody asks me if I can get a code for them, it's a yes, where that used to be really difficult to get. And that's been a nice sign of growth for the site.
Evil West
it's
looks fun.
growing.
Evil West looks fun.
Based on trailers and previews and stuff, I agree. It looks like a really fun video game, but for impressions,
Yeah.
closer to launch.
It looks Evil West looks good. I like the look of that game. Can we get a code for Evil West?
I mean, we did get one, and I've got another one coming in. I got a PC, and I'm getting Xbox. If I can get a second Xbox, maybe I'd give it to you.
Oh, what?
I need it on Xbox for the review. I need to see how it runs. I'm looking at, and I need to play co-op. It has co-op, by the way.
I love the fact that we are
Nice.
an hour into our show and we've just done what we've been playing.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, unless you wanted to go to bed really early and,
I find that we don't talk a lot about what we've been playing. I find that's
We kind of skirt over it. We skirt over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good to talk about it a bit more.
It's
I think.
good to talk.
If we ever went over what I've been playing for things that aren't embargoed, we could be here for like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like for people to know more about the games. It's not, it's nice. Like for people that were reading all the 10 out of 10 reviews for God of War, I think it's good that they heard stuff that's not just, oh my God, I'm going to trip over myself to praise it. Like again, it can be a game can be fantastic and have flaws. Perfect games don't come along very often, if ever. I mean, again, Super Mario Odyssey is the exception. It's not the rule.
Mortality earlier this year. Yeah, I agree.
What?
Immortality earlier this year was a 10 out of 10 for me. I agree. It's not that often a thing. I've only done it 2 other times, both for Halo.
Oh God, Halo!
I can't wait. I'm still gonna hit up Outer Wilds, and I'm still gonna hit it up with a 10 because that game is legitimate art. Fantastic game.
Hey, he's right.
I want to review Super Mario Odyssey for XboxEra.
Get out of here.
I mean,
that'll be my
you can do all the work.
only-
You can post it, and then I'll delete it, and it'll be so goddamn. It'll feel so.
That'll be my only 10 out of 10 review. The only one I ever give will be for Super Mario Odyssey. That's it.
If
Or
the guy
Super Mario
really
Odyssey
needs it,
2.
it's only at 97 on Metacritic.
Super
It is
Mario
dying.
Odyssey 2. When that comes out, I'll review it.
You can go review it for Kind of Funny or something. Feel free.
Yeah, go review it for Family Boards.
Yeah, but like they're our you know.
Yeah, they're part of our partner
affiliate.
network. We'll loan
That's
you
right,
out.
they're
You'll
part of-
actually do work for once. They'll be really surprised, and then you
Yeah,
get a review out of
we'll
it.
be surprised that he's done.
I was on their podcast before. I mean, I don't know if they have a podcast now that's called like the Family Boards podcast, but the guys that started Family Boards and that Discord, I was on their podcast on a Metroid episode. It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
I'm gonna put my camera up here just to say this one thing.
Can you read out
Super
the
Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is an extremely well-made, boring-ass game. 6 out of 10.
I'm muted, Jesse.
You took the producer role and muted Jesse?
He does it to me all the time. It's about time he got his
I
own
have
medicine
not
bag.
done it to you all the time.
Oh,
I have done it to John.
shit.
That's some drama. That's some drama right there. I can't agree with that. I can't allow
All right.
it to continue.
All right.
I flipped the script
See,
on him.
That's the issue, John, by having it just be the main email address that can log into our StreamYards. We're gonna have to lock it down and kick Nick out.
Yeah, you're right.
All
You're
right.
right.
You've earned it.
All good of everybody.
We have a super chat from Banana Peel Jack.
Banana
let's
Peel
hear it.
Jack.
Being
I vote for
more
Jesse
of a
being
part
more
of the
of a
podcast.
part
He
of
is
the
super
podcast.
informed and carries more than few
more,
topics.
yeah.
Few topics. Thank you, Jesse. I am.
And carries more than few topics. What does that mean?
Means he's lovely.
What does that mean?
It means
It means
I actually
He's
know things.
knowledgeable. He does.
Yeah.
You are like our encyclopedia. Like on 8 out of 10 cats, we'll be like, Jesse, is that right? And you'll be like, yep.
But that's the advantage of being off screen and being able to Google stuff.
I don't
He
have to
just
Google most of
knows.
it though.
He just knows, man. He's got
I don't
skills.
just pay attention to Sony first party and Nintendo. I actually pay attention to the whole gaming sphere, Nick. I know
So
that's a
do I.
weird concept.
So do I.
Mm-hmm,
I pay attention to everything.
Yeah, I go through your Twitter feed and it's just full of it's all about Sony first party and Nintendo. Never
No,
mind.
it's not.
I go through your game
not.
of the year, all for Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah, game. I can't remember the last time I had an Xbox game that was game of the year. I don't know if I ever have. I don't know if I ever have had an Xbox game that was game of the year.
Well, if they ever buy Fortnite or Rocket League, then
if they buy Epic Games,
They
if
buy both,
Microsoft buys Epic, then my most played games ever will be Microsoft first party games. if they buy Epic, otherwise, this year. My game of the year could have been an Xbox exclusive, but it was timed and ended up on other platforms.
for a man who cares about gameplay more than anything, you have to put it on God mode for it to be fun. Yeah, great game. 7 out
But
of 10.
that doesn't mean the gameplay is bad.
It is bad. The game's not fun if you
not.
don't have God mode on because it's not tight gameplay. It's bad gameplay. It has bad
No,
hitboxes.
I don't think that's
it
true.
has
I don't think
unfair
that's
enemy
true.
mechanics.
I'm going to rename this episode the Bitchy episode.
I
Your
don't
Xbox-
think that's true. I think the
calm down.
gameplay's
Right,
fine.
everyone.
It's just hard. It's just a hard game. That's all.
But it's hard because it's broken and bad.
No. Tunic is amazing.
Like, Mario Odyssey is not broken and feels great, but everything around it's boring as shit. But then Tunic feels bad to play, but then everything around it is fantastic. You know? This
Tunic's
dichotomy.
amazing. Tunic was so good.
Yep. If
It's
only
funny.
had
I
that
want to
game.
play. I want to play Sonic Frontiers, and it's like,
Oh God! If you don't, you don't care about story and things getting in the way. The first hour and a half I streamed of that game, I played for like 15 minutes. It felt like that game is nonstop
really?
tutorials and maybe once you get past that, it's okay. But boy, you can't skip it though. But you have to skip.
I still find it funny that like 3D Sonic, they've never got it right. It's all about going fast. Where the 2D Sonics are all about that momentum and having that weight. Like Sonic is effectively a pinball.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So
And he actually never moved that fast.
That's right. So except in Sonic 2 when he started getting all the things. But the funniest part is the only game that probably plays the way a 3D Sonic should play is Super Mario Odyssey. That's the game that feels and
You want
plays
Sonic to
like
throw his head?
No, but like in terms of Mario, how he runs and the momentum he builds when he runs, and then the way he builds more momentum jumping on things, and that feel is actually how a 3D Sonic should feel, and yet they don't.
No, Nick, I could
do
see
it.
that. Yes.
Again, I'm
Except
purely
for then-
talking about Mario's movement and traversal mechanics. That is how Sonic should feel in 3D. So I'm surprised that Sega don't and Sonic Team don't just
Do that.
rip that off. Yeah, I find it odd. But anyway,
It is odd. I agree.
that's quite a tangent.
We've been on. This is the tangent of tangent.
Yeah. First
let's actually
hour,
have
and
a
it's
look.
like nothing but actual game talk.
Well, let's have a look at the actual news. The actual news of the show. So we did well. Look, we mentioned Halo Infinite. Let's talk about that. We went, oh, Halo. The winter update's out. Obviously, that had the launch of ForgeEra, but I have to admit, I have been so busy doing 40 things, I have not touched the actual winter update. The only things I can really comment on is the commando rifle feels so much better, and I really like how, I don't know, something's different. I found
Did they zoom in more? It zooms in more,
it just doesn't. It doesn't recoil. It doesn't bounce up. It feels like a little bit more like.
Oh.
So yeah, they changed some of the values on its actual magnetism and aim properties and everything. That's in the patch notes.
It's really nice. Like it's really nice. They did a really, really solid job of that. So I really like that. And the plasma pistol as well is much better. The BR, I don't know what it is. I loaded it up and I was like, whoa, I can't aim for shit. I'm like really struggling. This is horrible. And then I reset everything back to default. And suddenly I was like, this feels really nice. And before I had my controls really wacky. So I was like, huh. So I don't know. I need to go out into the field and get some ranks under my belt and test this out. But I'm extremely optimistic about how it felt to play. It was
The
really
co-op
nice.
was good.
And that's the thing. The one thing I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into, and hopefully it will be like maybe later this weekend, some proper chunky co-op. Like
Co-op
with
was good.
friends. Jesse, you played a bunch of co-op. You did a stream, right? Really good fun.
Yep. Oh, it's
Yeah.
for Halo's gameplay. Their co-op. This is the best one to play.
Wow.
Not losing your guns when you die. The levels being just bigger. The movement being better. The way it's set up, where it's the whole no Spartan left behind thing, where you just pick up from the person furthest behind in your group. You can keep all your upgrades and everything if you want, or just make a new save file. One person grabs an audio log or a Spartan core. Everyone gets it. It's
so I was grabbing them. So I jumped into my son's game because I've beat Halo. So I jumped into my son's game. It took me a second to figure out what was going on because it's like choose a save file, and I'm like, wait, why am I choosing a save file if I'm jumping into his game? That threw me at first. But I'm assuming that you're choosing your save file based on your upgrades and collectibles
your upgrades,
and stuff.
Your skulls, your collectibles, all that.
Yeah. So I chose my completed save file, jumped into his game. So I had everything, but I could still see all his collectibles and collect them for him, which was really good because he's only 6, so he hasn't been bothering with collectibles. So that's what I've been doing with him. Rather than just attacking the main missions, I've been going through and trying to get him to find, especially Spartan cores, so that he can upgrade all his abilities. So we're starting with upgrading his grapple so that it can have the shock ability, and it was fun. It was good. You know, he'd die, so I'd quickly have to backtrack just a little bit so that he can reappear again.
Yeah.
And then he'd come back in. It's super, super fun. It's been good.
It runs on
playing co-op
dedicated
in Halo.
servers, so it feels real good. No peer-to-peer lag.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I haven't jumped into the multiplayer yet since the update. Because I've just been playing heaps of other stuff. Oh, I did have a look at the whole... There was a bug. Maybe I should have told... Maybe we need to tell 343. There's a bug where I couldn't actually change which battle pass I was contributing to.
They know about it.
So that's not just a me thing. That is an actual bug.
Not just a you thing, yeah. It's definitely a thing.
Because I kept trying to switch to my battle pass, and it just kept me in the winter one. It just kept me in it no matter what I was doing.
Yeah, it's a known thing. So you're okay, Chief.
Okay.
You're not insane.
I'm like, man, what's happening? Why isn't it letting me select my Season 2 Battle Pass? It's just forcing me to stay in the winter one no matter what I do.
Yeah, it is definitely a thing.
One big thing they did that I don't think got a ton of talking about before is it runs way better on PC. So I used to get a pretty, like, it feels way more consistent on its frame rate. Instead of jumping down from 60 to 100, or you set it to 125 and it just runs at 80. And it seems like those settings actually hold a hell of a lot better. And I was getting like 165 in indoor and 110 to 115 outdoor. So if you've got any decent type of gaming PC, it looks real good and runs great now.
That's really, really good to hear.
It was a good update all around.
Hooray! Hooray for Halo! It's back! And so on. And so on. Cool. Yeah, winter
I'm looking
update.
forward to getting back into more co-op.
Have you seen people have already remade like Lockout? I saw Burial Mounds get remade.
I saw what was the other one I saw?
Gulch.
No, what's that one from Halo 1 where it's inside the
Damnation.
Forerunner? Is it Damnation? I think it is
with
Damnation.
The big waterfall and the overshield out in the middle and the invis up high. And the three things you jump.
I don't know.
It's
it
Damnation.
did start with D. Maybe it was Damnation. Looks good. Looks really good.
The Forge community are going to go nuts, and I'm all
yeah.
for it. It's really, really lovely to see like people absolutely just going, "Oh yes, this is finally really fun."
That's what I did. I looked for Curfew and it wasn't there.
It's there. It's there. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Maybe I searched before it was like live.
Yeah,
maybe.
like it's. I did a 6-hour stream on launch, and it was difficult to try and get it done, but it is now done.
Oh, okay. I'll have to have another look for it again.
Yeah, but it was really fun as well. It was a fun stream.
And speaking of Halo, there was a bit of controversy around the bots in multiplayer being removed.
Yeah, like let's talk about that.
They've responded. They have explained what's going on with that.
I
said
heard
it's going to come back.
Tweaks. They're doing some tweaks.
I actually made a mistake. And that's why I deleted my tweet. Because I was saying that, like, I can't believe they got rid of bots. That's all my son does. All he does is play against bots. I'm like, bots are the most amazing thing in Halo, because that now my son plays multiplayer, quote unquote. But he doesn't, most of the time, he's not actually playing online with real people against bots. He's actually doing the training mode multiplayer fights 90% of the time.
Yeah,
but the way a lot of the tweets were being worded, it was like just they were removing bots from Halo, and I'm like, oh my god, what are you guys doing? How can you remove bots from? It's the best thing you've done in like forever.
Yeah,
and you're getting rid of it. Yes, no, they're not. So that's why I deleted my tweet when I realized what was actually going on, because I was like, my son's going to be gutted. That's what he plays when he wants to play Halo multiplayer. He plays with the bots and against the bots. He loves it.
Oh.
Well, he's not going to be able to take on the sweaties and online. Like,
it was pretty limited. It was
He's
just
6.
against the easy mode. It was not like an actual. They didn't expand bot boot camp at all. It was just the play easy mode. You never got medium difficulty. You never got hard difficulty. So I think they want to take it out and kind of rebuild it so that there's just more to it to make it more fun.
Yeah,
and it would have broken their new progression system right now, because it doesn't say in PvP anymore, so you probably
that's right.
all your battle pass stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
But that's not a big deal either. Why is that a big deal? So what if people use bots?
That people were doing that, right? And yes, I agree with you. So what? But maybe I think the reality of it is that the game, you saw them strip down and shrink the playlist count to bring it closer and make less choice, so that you're funneling players into what's left. And by having Bot Bootcamp be there to clear those challenges, let's be honest, swifter, maybe that is against what they were trying to achieve in terms of actually getting players to play against each other. And that would be my guess.
Well, in the end, the training mode is still there, so thank God for
Yeah.
that, because that's
Yeah.
what my son plays 90% of the time. He just jumps into the training mode, sets up matches, and kicks the bots'
Goes.
asses, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
And that's
Because he just feels invincible. He sets himself to God mode, and, like, you know, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He sets himself to God mode, puts unlimited ammo on, and just destroys all the bots, and he absolutely loves it. But, like, people can shake their heads like Jesse is, and people can say, oh, God, but that kid's going to be a Halo fan for life now.
I was reading a tweet.
Okay.
That was not at your son.
Like, my son's going to be a Halo fan for life now because of that. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's the smartest thing 343 ever did, because if Halo didn't have bots, he wouldn't play it. So he would not be a future fan of Halo. Now, when he's older, he will continue to play Halo because of those memories attached when he was little, feeling like an absolute gun in Halo. Like, it's smart. Like, these are the things that are smart to do in a video game if you want to get more people in. There's ways.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, there's ways you can do it without compromising your vision, and there's ways to do it if you're smart enough. And putting bots in a training mode, perfection. Absolute perfection. Great idea. Best thing 343 did.
Or you could just get good and play multiplayer.
Yeah, tell that to a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
I would.
I don't
I'd
think
yell it at them.
dogs like get good.
He does it in Rocket League. He just sets up matches against bots in Rocket League as well. But but through that, he's getting better at Rocket League, so better at competing against real people too.
Yeah,
So
there's ways around it, right? So it's good. It's good either way. We're all finally. I think Halo fans are pretty happy right now. Like, considering where the game was and what the struggles were, I'm seeing a lot of positivity now, comparatively to what we were getting, which wasn't a lot.
Don't go on Hidden Experience channel.
Oh, worst
I don't know who that
mistake ever made.
I don't know who that is.
I think he's a YouTuber. If I was to hazard a guess,
It's good to just don't bother learning.
Hidden
You're better off.
Xperia. The name kind of rings a bell. Now I'm going to look him up.
He's my brother's favorite.
Is he?
I've never understood having a channel devoted to Halo and just hating on it constantly. It's like, dude, at that point in life, go play something else.
It's the angry clickbait angle of trying to keep engagement because you've built your entire brand around this one thing that is people are disappointed with. So now you've got to pivot, and you've got to pivot way over the top to keep people interested.
It's a bit boring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Oh well. There you go. Hey, the best news of the week: Gears of War is getting a movie from Netflix, and Dave Batista tweeted and was just like, "Come on, that's good news, isn't it?"
Yeah, a Gears
I will watch this.
show and movie. Yeah, movie and show.
An adult cartoon anime style. Let's cash in on what The Witcher did. Let's cash in on what Arcane did. You know, that kind of thing. But a hardcore movie too, like M-rated.
Yeah.
A TV show in that universe would need an enormous budget with all the architecture and all the enemy types and everything. You'd have to be just fighting humans or all the time or something to keep.
But the movie will need a big budget.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like, that's where the money's going to go.
If Netflix want to do it right, like, and I mean, I'm not going to doubt them. Witcher was great as a series, big budget series. So I have faith that Netflix will do it justice. It could go horribly wrong. Don't get me wrong. It could go horrifically wrong, but I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt for now. I mean, it's going to live or die by the casting, though. Let's be honest. Like, part of the reason The Witcher was so successful was Henry Cavill and casting Henry Cavill. Yeah, well, that's because of creative differences.
Yeah, that's because the showrunner literally said he hates both the books and the games, and Henry Cavill's walking around with the book saying we need to be more like these.
Yeah. Like, don't forget, with The Witcher, it was a case of Netflix announced that they've got The Witcher rights. Henry Cavill rings up Netflix and is like, you're casting me in this show whether you like it or not. And Netflix is like, okay. And then Henry Cavill's like, by the way, let me take care of what's happening in the show because I am such a massive Witcher fan. Just let me take control. And Netflix is like, yeah, okay. And that's why The Witcher was so successful. But then other people started to step in and encroach on where the direction it was going. And that's when Henry Cavill's like, well, see you later. Like, I was meant to be controlling this. You need to stop muting yourself, John.
Sorry. It's a shame. It's such a shame. But I do realize when I've muted myself, usually. So let's talk this Gears show now because I put out a tweet which got a fair bit of engagement, and it's like, so I listed who I would cast for the Gears movie. And my casting was less based on, and I wish I had explained it, but Twitter doesn't have enough characters. But my casting choices were based less on who may necessarily be perfect for the roles, because if Uncharted has taught me anything, like Uncharted was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Once they cast Tom Holland as Drake, I was like, okay, so we don't. And then Chris Pratt as Mario was like the straw that snapped the camel in half. After Uncharted and Mario, I came to the realization that Hollywood doesn't cast properly. Right? I had faith that casting would still, make the best person
decisions.
for the role.
Yeah, rather than just like, who's the biggest name we can get?
Fool.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and balance my casting choices between what I think Hollywood would do in terms of we need bankable big name stars, but also who would be good for those roles. I did my best to straddle that line.
Do you think you succeeded?
I personally think I did, but a lot of people disagreed on a couple of the choices. But others came up with some amazing suggestions for otherwise. So I had Batista as Marcus Fenix.
Okay.
Hello. Duh. I had Terry Crews as Cole.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah, but people were very quick to point out Lester Spate, who plays Cole. And he's also... And that's fine. Like, I'm not suggesting that Terry Crews would be better for Cole than Cole himself. But who knows who Lester Spate is outside of the hardcore video game bubble?
True.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what I meant by trying to balance that blend of good for the role, but also known. Like, they're going to want known people. Terry Crews is a known person. Like, he was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and White Chicks. And, like, Terry Crews is a big name. Lester Spate is Cole. He is. And he's Terry the linebacker from the NFL, the linebacker ads for Reebok or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, I have no doubt Lester Spate would be fantastic for Cole, but no one knows who Lester... Like, if I say the name Lester Spate, like, would you have known who he even was?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know him by name. I know him by face and I know him by his roles, but I never knew him by name.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Terry Crews is. And he could also do the role quite well.
Yeah.
So it's that blending. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
For Baird, I said John Cena. But then someone in the replies, and I'm trying to remember who it was, came up with an incredible choice.
Oh,
for
Chris
Baird.
Pratt.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's his
it's
name?
me, Chris Pratt. Oh, I mean,
Hey,
Baird.
I'm me. I'm Chris Pratt, Baird from the War Gears. The other person who would be perfect for Baird is Homelander. Hey, come on. He'd be a good Baird. He would be good Baird. Yes, Anthony Starr. Thank you. That's his name, Anthony Starr.
I saw Bill Burr.
He'd be a good Baird. Who?
The comedian
Bill
Bill Burr, the comedian.
As who?
As
Baird? No.
Give him a bunch of steroids. There you go.
No.
Like,
no.
yeah, he'd have to hit
Anthony...
up a bit. He'd have to hit the gym, but
Anthony Starr would be a great. I've seen some people say Ryan Reynolds, like Hytham G saying Ryan Reynolds right now. Yeah, I don't know about Ryan Reynolds.
I've had enough of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I know. We get a lot of Ryan Reynolds
in every fucking movie.
Anthony Starr is a fantastic. I'd love John Cena because after seeing Peacemaker, I think John Cena would be great as Baird. He can blend that, smart arsey. Okay. Yeah. I think John Cena, and he's the bankable. He's the big name. And now my left field choice for Dom was Wilmer Valderrama. I reckon he'd be all right as Dom.
I don't know Wilmer Valderrama off the top of my
what?
head.
Wilmer Valderrama, that 70s show.
Oh, I've never really been a.
Oh, okay. And then I saw people in my replies. Now, do you watch the show Mayans? You know how there was Sons of Anarchy, and there was the spin-off Mayans. Well, the lead in Mayans, someone was suggesting him as Dom, and I'm like, man, that's a great choice. That actor, I can't remember his name, he'd be good as Dom too. But I had Wilmer Valderrama. I mean, if you want to go an ultra big name, but they'd never get him, would be Oscar Isaac.
What about
Dom?
He's probably a bit too old, actually. I don't know. He was started alongside Jon Favreau as in Chef. He was he was the other
Leguizamo.
guy. Yeah. Too old?
I thought about him, but no, it's not he's too old. Leguizamo he's little.
Yeah, he is short. Yeah, I know he's short. So
he's little.
They'd have to come up with something to kind of get around it. But there's nothing wrong with being short.
No, but not just height. How do I explain it?
These men are all giant bricks of meat. You need
you need a brick.
Like
you need people who have roided up in the past.
Yeah, like there has to be a physical presence. Element to it.
Yeah,
like
that's fair. That's fair.
And Leguizamo is a great actor. Yeah, Leguizamo is a great actor, but not for gears. Where Wilmer Valderrama, you could bulk him up a little bit, and he's still a decently sized bloke.
I wrote a list half jokingly in chat, but I actually do think the guy who played Namor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever could be pretty good.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's very good in it. That is kind of I guess Dom. I don't know. It's space Mexican. I think people always assign to Dom, but since it's a future humanity on a different planet, I don't think it has to be, a Mexican actor. And I think that is his name. He's really good.
I'm looking at the chat. Kay Asante, I agree with you 100% on everything to do with Leicester. The issue is, would Netflix go for Leicester? Yes, we in the video game space that know Gears inside out and all that sort of stuff. Yes, Leicester is theoretically perfect for the role because he is Cole and he's also an actor. But Netflix will turn around and go, "Who's Lester Spate? Like, who the hell's Lester Spate?"
I think that would depend if everyone else is really big. Like the main people who need to be really big if it's a movie about Marcus is obviously going to be Marcus, his dad, like some of the characters around that. Like we might not meet Cole right away. That might be something that happens later. You never. So some of those ancillary characters who become big might be able to be smaller people at the start. And the bigger people are going to be...
Oh, no, I know. But like Terry Crews, you can't tell me you can't see Terry Crews being Cole.
No,
Terry Crews has virtually done some Cole stuff in the movie. He's in Expendables. He's basically playing almost Cole in the Expendables. Like, I'm just saying from a Netflix... If I'm putting a casting agent hat on for Hollywood where they want to have big names, they're not going to... I just don't think they would pick Leicester, even though we think Leicester is perfect. That's why I was saying my list is trying to strike that balance between who I think could do it and who I think Hollywood would want, without being stupid and having Chris Pratt as Mario or Tom Holland as Drake. Like, I'm trying to strike that balance as best I can.
Mark Wahlberg. There you go.
No. Stop it.
To me, Terry Crews is that answer. He can do it. He can clearly do it. But he's also a known quantity in terms of his name in the industry. If I walk up to my wife tomorrow and I go, "Oh, they're going to have Lester Spate in Netflix's Gears of War," she'll be like, "Who?" But if I say Terry Crews is going to be in it, she'll be like, Terry Crews, loved him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, loved him. It's just, again, it's hard for us as hardcore gamers to look outside our bubble, but that's what we have to do with this stuff.
I don't disagree.
So yes, I don't disagree that Lester is literally Cole and should be the one that does it. I just don't see Netflix using him. I hope I'm wrong. I would love for them to use Lester, because then we'd be seeing Cole on the screen.
Yeah, it would be very cool.
I just don't know if they'll do it. But they have to get Batista. Batista has been begging for this role.
Yeah, like they have to. Just let him go ham.
The only reason I think they might not is if it wants to be a series of movies and it's starting when he's younger. Like the first movies would be if Marcus is like in his 20s or 30s, like Batista's in his late 40s, 50s now.
Do you know what I wish they would do?
The Rock's Black Adam in his 50s. Big deal. HGH is a thing. HGH is a thing. Don't worry about it.
Hollywood needs to actually, for once, just don't get writers in that don't know the games. Don't get writers in that don't care. Like Halo, they could have done The Fall of Reach the book, and it would have been a fucking awesome TV show.
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
You get your flashbacks as a kid. You get your forward as the war as we're losing, and then the failure of Reach as a cliffhanger, and the discovery of the Halo would have been more engaging, more interesting. You would have had cool space battles. You would have had intrigue. You would have had war against the insurrectionists. All of that.
Oh, darn. What happened to John's mic? Shit. Oh, sorry, John.
I was wondering, I'm like, why did he mute himself in the middle of a speech?
Man, sorry about that, man. It was almost like you were saying a bunch of nonsense. All right, let me turn it back on for you.
You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Gears of War movie. Should be fun.
Who plays Carmine? Who plays Carmine that's going to get killed?
Kenny from South Park.
I mean, Carmine can be played by anyone because he's in a helmet where you don't know who he is underneath anyway.
Steve Buscemi.
So who do they get to voice Carmine?
Steve Buscemi.
Chris Pratt. Get Chris
Am
Pratt
I muted still?
Hey! No, you're... Hey, it's me, Carmine.
Hey, I'm me. I'm Carmine from the War Gears. Watch me get shot all the time. Yay, hey, oh, hey, the gabagoo, hey.
I still maintain.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
Steve Buscemi. That's who should be Carmine.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi. Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt should play Carmine.
Yeah, he's good. He has good fun.
Because just like how Brad Pitt was the invisible dude in Deadpool 2, and we didn't know until he got shocked, and we saw the flash of Brad Pitt.
Did you see the Lost City?
Did you see Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Did you see Deadpool 2? I watched that at the cinema, and we're watching it, and we're enjoying it because I love Deadpool. And all of a sudden, that invisible dude gets caught on the wires, and like flashes into vision. And I said to him, I'm watching it with my wife. I'm like, was that Brad Pitt? I'm like, did they cast Brad Pitt as the invisible dude? And then I looked into it, and they did. I'm like, that is crazy. That is so good.
I think he's quite up for doing cameos. He did. Did you see Lost City?
Yes.
Yeah, he did a really good. Like you were
Yes.
not expecting him to be brutally.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was good fun.
That was great. I love stuff. I love it when actors do stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's
should
great.
have fun with it. Like why not?
You're a multi-millionaire. Even if you don't get paid for your 20 minutes that you were on set, who cares? Like you've got more money than God. Like don't worry about it. Have some fun with it.
I've got a good
Just have some
Carmine.
fun.
Completely agree.
Prince
Go on, who's your good
Andrew.
Carmine?
Prince Andrew. What? What are you talking about?
Who wouldn't want to see him die over and over again?
Yeah, you'd have to
Yeah.
you'd
For
have to
fun.
make sure you actually see.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion,
Yeah, the
Jesse
helmet
brother.
gets blasted off.
Brad Pitt's a good suggestion. But we
Yeah, I
need to
like
find out if Brad Pitt, it's good when you get actors that were fans of the series. I don't know if Brad Pitt ever played Gears of War.
Yeah, that's true.
Where Batista, clearly loves Gears of War. And, he looks it, and he's gruff, and he's, and Batista...
He's in the
Batista-
game. You can play as him in that game. He even voices
That's
the
in the
freaking
thumbnail.
lines.
That's in our thumbnail is the Batista Gears model. Yes, I understand that. But I'm just saying that yes, Batista has to be Marcus.
Yes.
He has to be.
I agree.
What period do you reckon they're going to cover? Do you reckon they're just going to straight up take the first game and make a movie out of it?
If I don't get to hear Dave Batista go, they're sinking cities with a giant worm, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
So,
The trailer for it needs to be Mad World.
oh, so if they just did the trailer for it was just a cinematic reenactment,
Live action equivalent of Mad World trailer. Oh,
chef's kiss.
goosebumps. I just
Yeah,
be
it'd be
like,
so good.
come
People go nuts.
on. Like, you just have to have the Mad World trailer reshot scene for scene in live action. And Batista just breaks through the window, looks up, and that huge spider is just there. What do they call them again? What's it called? Big giant spiders.
Creeper?
Corpser.
Corpser.
Yes. And the big corpser is just there.
Even Google that one.
Hey, that's a good one. Jim Carrey as General Ram.
You guys know your nostalgia bit.
Jim Carrey as General Ram.
What is the deal?
He was so good as Jerry Seinfeld. Did you see it? Do you remember In Living Color? The TV show In Living Color?
I know the name. I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was one of the earlier skit shows in the late 80s, early 90s. And it was by the Wayans brothers. I think it was produced by the Wayans brothers, and they had that's where Jim Carrey like got his start in Living Color. And one of the skits he always did was he did a Seinfeld one, and he was so good at doing Seinfeld. And there was My Left Foot of Fury. You know My Left Foot, that movie My Left Foot?
Yeah.
It was that, but like on a Jean-Claude Van Damme spin, and it was called My Left Foot of Fury. It was so good. Oh, God. In Living Color was amazing. I used to love that show. Homie the Clown. It was a skit about, it was Damon Wayans doing Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
So good.
Hey, have you finished
the
your
greatest show.
have you finished your breakfast now?
Yes, I finished it earlier. I had to keep muting because
It's very shaky.
the shaker, the wire thing is still in the shaker. But yes, I finished my breakfast and it was very, very nice. It was good to not have to like rush it in before the show and just be able to just drink it while we're doing it. And that's why I've got the bag. That's my Fruity Flakes. Hold on, let me get it.
Look at that cake.
So that's the flavor I get. I get the Fruity Flakes one.
Which is
But they've
Fruit
got-
Loops.
It's basically Fruit Loops, tastes like Fruit Loops at the bottom of the bowl. They've got like cookies and cream, which is Oreo. They've got cinnamon toast. They did a new one, which is literally birthday cake. The flavor is called
that's too much.
birthday cake. Oh, it's so nice.
Too much.
And I think they either they've started doing or they're about to start doing exclusive flavors for specific regions and countries. So for the UK, they'll try a flavor that's like uniquely British, like baked beans.
Jez will be
for
all
a-
over it.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do baked beans. That was me joking. But like for Australia, they're looking at like a uniquely Australian flavor, like Lamington or something like that. And America has a couple of exclusive ones as well. But they have like you can buy like a sample pack, which is like you get 3 or 4 of the main flavors just to try out and see what you like. They're all super nice. Again, I know this looks like whatever it looks like, but like the reason I've been drinking this stuff for 2 years, as someone who has been, I've sort of, dabbled in the gym for the last 20 years. And as a kid, I had a lot of problems putting on weight. So I tried weight gainers, protein powders, this, that, the other. So as someone who's been drinking all the different powders for the last 20 years, and they all claim they taste good, but you know how they just taste like artificial, powdery, chemically stuff? This is the first time I've ever had anything where it actually just tastes good on its own and not tastes good for a powder. It just tastes good by itself. So it's great. If you're the sort of person that skips breakfast, have that for breakfast instead. That way you're still skipping because you're just having a drink, but it's still filling and it tastes unbelievable.
But Nick, if they were to skip breakfast but want to save a few pennies, how could they do that?
Well, what they could do is they could go to drinkcontrol.com, and it's control CTRL as you saw, drinkcontrol.com.
For real life.
/XboxEra, and then use the code XboxEra for 10% off their order.
Well, I had no idea. Well, what an excellent idea that is.
It'll redirect. So if you're in Australia, it'll redirect to the Australian distributor. If you're in the UK or Europe, it'll redirect. But you can still use the code XboxEra regardless.
Wow.
It's so nice. Again, this was all me because I already drink this stuff. Like, I've been drinking it for the better part of 2 years, which is why I did this. It's super, super nice.
There you have it. Cool.
Use the code XboxEra.
10% off.
10%.
Warhammer Darktide is coming out on November 30th on PC. That includes, I believe, Jesse, keep me honest, Windows Store and Steam.
I actually just got a code for the Steam version from Lurkit. I signed up on there to get it just in case, because I have been talking with, as I reported, breaking news. I talked with the PR at Fat Shark.
Yeah.
Good friend Gunner.
Fat Shark.
Yeah, he confirmed it should be coming out on November 30th on the Windows Store into PC Game Pass. No early review codes, so you can expect us to cover that live on our XboxEra Plays channel as I play the shit out of it and work on a review right after it hits. But yes, that should be hitting Xbox Game Pass on PC on November 30th, coming soon after for console. What that means, 1 to 3 months, no idea yet.
Okay, there we go.
6,000 hits on that article, by the way.
Nice. Very nice. Impressive, one would say. Kind of jealous.
Next.
Okay.
What's next?
What's next? Well,
we're going to talk about Mick Gordon.
Yeah, no, I didn't read this, but I know of the drama that had occurred previously.
I had no idea about this until I saw Mick Gordon tweeting about it. I had absolutely no idea.
This was
I didn't
big
know.
Hoo-ha around Doom's soundtrack and its
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal, yeah, I should say.
Yeah, like what was the deal? Like, did you read Mick Gordon's reply?
I haven't. I haven't read it. I'm relying entirely on you and Jesse.
So it's like it was weird. I just I just saw Jez in the chat. Oh wow, a cool new Xbox podcast.
Mother.
It was weird that like Mick was bringing this up like 2 years after the fact, replying to a Reddit post, and like then he went into great detail detailing the hell he went through on Doom Eternal, and like they were putting all these unrealistic deadlines. He was expected to come up with music that blends into the gameplay and everything without anything to reference it against, because the game was like not ready, and like they had all these unrealistic expectations of him, and it was just it sounds like they really ruined that relationship with
which is a shame, because Mick Gordon is an excellent composer.
Killer Instinct Season 1 is just
hopefully he
next level.
He doesn't hold what Bethesda did against Microsoft if they come to him for Killer Instinct 2 at some point, you know.
And the thing is, it sounds like he legitimately kept trying to to compromise and to build bridges to help, and despite like it sounded like everything on id's end was like trash fire, but he kept just trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Because the way everything was worded, it made it sound like Doom Eternal was some kind of disaster. And wasn't Doom Eternal amazing? It was like an unbelievable game. Yeah, and the music was great. And so that whole situation just seemed
sucky.
Yeah, and it just seemed weird to me that it was being brought up now.
His thing is unbelievably long, and definitely from lawyers going through it over a long period of time, because it is stupendously long. His entire post.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. I was reading through it. It was like long as.
We got a week.
More reading than I normally do. Yeah, more reading than I would normally do.
All right, now super chat, Nick. We can't ignore this. It's a £10. It's
Super
a
chat
€10
from
award.
Jez. Nick, can I get an ooh woo, please? Well, there you go. You got it. Ooh woo.
No,
That's how I say it.
Is
Is that ooh woo? Ooh woo. Don't you have to do the
Woo.
ooh woo?
Whoa.
Ooh woo? There you go. Is that good enough?
I don't get it.
You don't want
It's
your
a
anime,
thing-
old man.
Yeah, it's like I think it's an anime thing.
Okay.
I think it's an anime thing.
You kids nowadays with your animes.
Oh yeah, see, shifty bastard. That's what he was doing. I shouldn't have done that.
Ooh.
He's clipping it.
Oh
Shouldn't
no,
have done that.
you've been duped.
Yeah, there's going to be clips of me going like this.
Ooh, I got to respond to Revive Saiyan real quick. He's saying what happened to Goldeneye, and I'm saying this is the funniest thing that
What
they
happened to
announced
GoldenEye?
Goldeneye, and then it's just what if they never talk about it again and never comes out? How?
Oh
funny.
god, I'd be so annoyed. Everyone's got theories now that GoldenEye is going to come out in December because something to do with how Pilot Wings was for November. But then there's some other place where it looks like it's supposed to be. I thought it was 2023 GoldenEye. I was under the impression it was next year. That's the impression I was under.
They didn't give it.
It is
They
odd.
just said coming soon.
I know. It is so odd the way it was announced as just coming soon and nothing. I'm just like, what's going on here?
Bit strange, isn't it? Bit strange.
They're waiting on the war in the Ukraine to end.
It's such an odd reason to not release a 25-year-old Nintendo 64 game. It's so odd. It's so weird. These polygons here, you're shooting digital characters, better not release it because there's a war in the Ukraine. It's like so many shooters have come out this year. Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. They talk about Russians.
Yeah,
and like,
they have. Yeah,
you shoot Russian people in it, and that released just fine. So why would this 25-year-old Nintendo 64 game cause a fuss? Like, I don't understand.
it's really. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It just makes no sense at all.
I find it really strange. Like just in general. Like
Oh my god!
just release it already. Christ's sake.
Just
Just to-
release
just
it
to be-
so it can
just to
so I
keep
can
you
vote
quiet.
for it as my game of the year for 2022.
I will delete that article, man.
So that I can play it. Now Jez has super chatted a peach. Is that a peach?
Yes, I think
that's peach.
he's saying
It's,
one of us
it's
has
when
a
you were
nice-
picking up your control and you could see that peach.
But you can't. The chair hides my ass.
No, I saw a little tiny bit. That's all I need.
Okay.
Okay, each to their own.
Yeah. Bot
bit
talks. Yeah. Bot
Um,
talks.
What else we got? I suppose. There. Let's do this.
Here we go. The topic that I'm so
It
drained
keeps on
of.
giving. Yeah,
And I keep making the mistake of talking about it on Twitter and then just getting a bunch of disingenuous fanboys replying to me with inane arguments that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Explain this to me. Explain this to me like I'm 5, right? Because I've had a very busy week. I've not caught.
I don't know how to explain it. I need it explained to me like I'm 5. All I know is that the European Commission, I think, are pushing it to phase 2.
Right.
I think.
Fine. I can understand that.
Yeah. Whatever.
Which I think most people would expect.
Would expect.
It's a
yes.
ridiculously large deal. They're going to look at it.
And I do believe that if I read correctly, I do believe the European regulators had somewhat better arguments for it than the CMA did. So far, the CMA are the only ones that are like coming up with insane arguments trying to protect
There
Sony.
was still a lot of focus about COD, oddly enough, and less about like cloud and other things. But yeah, overall it was better from what I saw. Still not great.
But I don't know. Like, I still don't get the. And then the problem was what added fuel to the fire was there was someone. I don't want to name him because I don't like pylons. The people that are aware of the issue know who they are, but there was a certain person who I think works for the European Commission that basically put out a tweet outing himself as a PlayStation fanboy, essentially.
Oh dear.
Saying, hey, we're working to make sure that COD stays on other consoles, including my PlayStation. I'm just like, dude,
Fucking what?
what are you doing? Like, I get it. Like, I'm not naive like a lot of other people seem to be, where they think fanboys don't exist in, like, professional arenas. They do. Like, there's fanboys probably working for the government, and there's fanboys working for regulators, and there's... We all saw a doctor on Twitter dox one of his patients because as a PlayStation fanboy. So the idea that we think fanboys don't exist in the professional space is just naivety personified. They do. They exist. And this gentleman outed himself as one on Twitter and then got in trouble and then had to... He didn't delete his tweet. I commend him for that. But he clearly had a stern talking to from his superiors and then had to tweet that he's not involved in this particular instance.
Honest.
The wording of his initial tweet is just too direct about what they're trying to accomplish in the
I know.
review.
It's so bad. I don't think...
The goal is supposed to be.
Yes.
The goal is supposed to be protecting customers, not protecting
that's right.
PlayStation customers. Hey, it's Rand.
Hey, Rand.
We'll read that. We'll read that super chat later.
Guy.
I don't understand, like, and again, I need to stop saying it on Twitter because everyone that replies to me is so disingenuous about it. Like, I don't understand this need. There seems to be this need to protect PlayStation in all of this, and I don't understand why. I don't actually get why. I don't know where it comes from. Like, there's no... In a world where Call of Duty is locked to Xbox, the only thing I tweeted about was, this is simple. Right now, if you want to walk into a store, if you as a consumer walk into a store and you want to buy Spider-Man, you need to make sure you own a PlayStation, correct?
Yep. Accurate.
Okay. If Microsoft locks down Call of Duty to Xbox, if you walk into a store and you want to buy Call of Duty, better make sure you own an Xbox or a PC. It's that simple, isn't it? Like,
yes,
people are like, how can you compare COD to Spider-Man? I'm not comparing COD to Spider-Man. I know COD's bigger than Spider-Man. What I'm discussing is, like, the action that an end consumer, which is who the regulators are supposed to be watching out for. An end consumer still has the choice to buy COD. They're not having their choice taken away. They may not be able to play it on their PlayStation anymore. What's the big deal? Like, I don't get it. That has been the video game world for 40 years. Certain platforms have an exclusive game and they want to attract you to their platform with that game.
Yep.
So
That's
again, from an end consumer perspective, I'm not talking about the business side. I'm not talking about, Microsoft and monopolies. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, for an end consumer, which is who the regulators are supposed to be watching out for first.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, should Microsoft become assholes and take it all away, the worst case scenario is a consumer has to buy an Xbox for Christmas.
True story.
That is the worst case scenario in all of this. So I'm not understanding why that part is such a big deal, because I keep seeing that brought up and I don't get it. That's the point. It's all about exclusives, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. And people want to say, how can you compare Spider-Man? Guess what? Spider-Man was multi-platform. Ironically, under Activision. Activision used to have the license for Marvel and Spider-Man. So, Xbox owners all these years, up until the PS4 game, Xbox owners could walk into a store and buy the latest Spider-Man game.
True story.
And then all of a sudden, they couldn't. So how is that any different if COD gets locked down? It's exactly the same. A consumer walks into a store to buy the latest COD. Oops, they have to buy an Xbox. It's literally exactly the same. So I don't understand the issues. What I want to see from the regulators and FTCs, I want to see, like, for me, it's not about whether the deal gets blocked or not. I don't care. If anything, I've said before openly, I hope it does. I'm over this crap. Like, I'm over it. Like, And again, for me personally, it's costing better options.
Yeah.
And
we're
while
seeing
they're tied
something
up
like-
with this,
You saw
Yeah.
Crafton bought Neon Giant, which was the
Yes.
Ascent.
the
creators.
Ascent
Like, they
developer,
would have
wasn't
been-
it? Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been a great little.
And
game
people
pass.
were saying when the Ascent came out, everyone's like, buy Neon Giant, buy Neon Giant. They're
Yep.
so talented, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Tied up with ABK. Sorry, tied up with ABK. We were saying Crystal, Eidos. Got to get Crystal, got to get Eidos. Sorry, tied up with ABK. How much more of it? Man, I'm over this crap. If anything, I want it to get blocked. It's not about the deal and whether it gets blocked or not. For me, it's about the why. Like, don't block this deal because you're scared PlayStation won't be number one anymore. That's not a reason to block this deal. Block this deal because you legitimately believe and have evidence that shows that Microsoft could turn heel and like lock out competitors, find ways to shut down PlayStation. Like, block this deal for legitimate reasons. Don't block it for Twitter fanboy reasons because PlayStation might not be number one anymore. Oh no, what are we going to do? Who cares if PlayStation's not number one anymore? Who gives a rat's? You're muted again.
You
Like,
don't have to point it out. I'll notice. Don't worry. I can see.
but like, if PlayStation's not number one, so what? You're still going to get your third person bangers. Who cares? Like, I don't like. I just want to see proper arguments. Like, deep down, I knew there was a little bit of dodginess with the CMA, and this European Commissioner now saying what he said just basically proved it. Like, there's clearly some more gentlemen and ladies as well. There's clearly other people within these regulators like this bloke. Because how many times did we keep saying it about the CMA? Like, some of their arguments just read like those Twitter fanboys.
Lots of the arguments read like those Twitter fanboys.
They just read like the Twitter fanboys. Oh, but what's PlayStation going to do? If you guys take COD away, what's PlayStation going to do?
How will they survive?
Who cares? Who cares? That's not your like, it's not your concern. Like, it's not your concern. We posted it a couple of episodes ago where I took a screenshot from the CMA's website where it says, our mission is to protect the consumer. Consumers aren't really affected by this in any major way.
No.
Okay, if COD's that important to you, sell your PlayStation and buy an Xbox. But guess what? Microsoft is giving you so many avenues to their ecosystem that you probably won't even have to buy an Xbox if you want to play COD. You might just be able to play it straight on your TV because Microsoft's giving you so many options. And they're going to put it on Switch. Let's be honest. I've said this from day one. As soon as that, if this deal goes through, I'm going to keep saying if this deal goes through, they're going to put COD on Switch. They're going to find a way to do it.
Of course they are. Of course, 100%.
1,000% they put it on Switch, but they'll probably wait for the next Switch that has a bit more grunt to it and can run a native version of COD. Probably. The only platform that may get COD taken away one day is PlayStation. I still personally think, despite everything that's been said publicly, because you've got to remember, regardless of what happens with this deal, unless, and they're not going to get them to, they're just never going to sign a contract. Like there was no contract for Minecraft. Microsoft just puts a Minecraft on those other platforms. There's no contract. Everyone's like, why do they sign a contract? Not going to sign a contract. But with this deal, Microsoft, if it goes through, Microsoft, unless something is signed, aren't legally bound to actually do any of this stuff if nothing is signed. They can still be assholes about it. And I still expect that the PS6 will launch without Call of Duty. Despite everything that's been said.
Don't say that, Nick.
That's
The CMA will be watching and they'll use you.
Oh, yeah, the CMA watches our show. I'm sure they do. I still believe that the PS6 will launch without COD. That's what I think. But I obviously don't know that. That's just a prediction. I think they'll keep it on PlayStation for now, and then once PS6 comes along, say sorry, we tried to get Game Pass on PlayStation. We wanted to keep it on there, so we made a concession, and Warzone 3 is on PlayStation. Warzone 3 is on PlayStation.
Yeah, there's a little like, yeah, don't worry, you're still important to us.
Yeah, well, they can have Warzone 3. But all the other Call of Duties, nah, they'll be Xbox, Switch, and PC, and TV, and streaming tablet, and iPad, and all the other ways you can play Call of Duty. They'll actually get Call of Duty into more hands, even without PlayStation. They'll actually get it into more hands than before. Technically. Technically, they will get it into more hands. I see Rand here. You don't even need to sell your PlayStation, considering it won't leave PlayStation. You are wrong, Nick. I don't think I am. I still think they're going to take it away. Personally.
He's dying on that hill, Rand. He's dying on that hill. I don't
That's
agree.
what I do. I die on hills.
I now truly believe enough noise has been made that it's not to say that in the future something could change, but there's no reason to
PS6 launch is well in the future. Like the PS6 ain't coming out before like probably 2030. Like we're talking a long way into the future here.
But I just don't see them taking it away. They'll treat it as like a platform, just like they do with Minecraft, because for them it makes money. The benefit they get the benefit still. They get all the extra money. Think about it from a business point of view. They get all of the money that you normally get by selling on PlayStation. Get all that money, cash. But for their business, it's on Game Pass. Don't worry about it. That's the driver. And that's the way they can get around this. Yep, we're giving you PlayStation. Don't worry, PlayStation. We're giving you Call of Duty. But Xbox customers, we're not going to charge you $70 for it or $80 in 2030. That's what I think. But yeah,
maybe. Yeah. I'll read them. So Rand, always nice to see Nick show up to Xbox 2. Oh wait, hey John and Jesse, the brains and the workhorse behind XboxEra. What does Nick do again?
Looks pretty.
He's the talent.
Not only do I look pretty, look at mate. Look at that, mate. Come on.
$15 worth of
plastic. Okay. nrXic, what grinds my gears? The gaming media being completely silent on the CMA. The gaming media being completely silent on the CMA and EU regs, stifling competition and supporting the number one platform of 30 years. Xbox was inches away from being another Dreamcast. That's what I mean. That goes back to what I was saying before. Why do they care so much about how PlayStation does?
It is that side of things is particularly strange.
It just looks dodgy. It just looks flat out dodgy.
It's like very...
I would understand. You know what? I would understand all of this stuff if Microsoft was the market leader.
Yeah.
If Microsoft was the market leader, using their immense wealth to just further grind the competition down into the dust, I would completely understand all the scrutiny that's come along with this. Like right now, the scrutiny that Microsoft are under is the scrutiny of a market leader, of which they are not.
It doesn't make sense in that regard.
They are not the market leader, not by a long way. So I'm not understanding why they're receiving the scrutiny of a market leader.
It's just bizarre. It's a really
it's so weird. Like it's like if anything, Sony should have had more scrutiny with Bungie. If anything. But Bungie's a massive developer and Destiny's a huge IP, but why wasn't there the same, like, because again, I know that Sony's not as big as Microsoft and I know Destiny's not as big as COD, but Sony is the far and away market leader. Potentially taking away a massive multi-platform IP.
It's really odd.
Like, I don't get it. Like, has Sony and Bungie said they're going to put, like, Destiny on Switch or anything? Have they made any promises like that? No. All they said was that, no, we'll continue to be multi-platform.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, yeah, cool, that's cool. Sweet. No worries.
Thanks, bro.
You said it, so that's okay. You said it, so that's fine. But like Phil says like 100,000 times, nah, we're going to keep making COD on PlayStation. We're going to keep making COD on PlayStation. And it's like no one's hearing it. Like they're all like, oh, what are you going to do about COD? What are you going to do about it? It's like, yeah, we keep telling you. We're going to keep making it on PlayStation. Yeah, but like, what happens if you take it away? Yeah, but we're not taking it away. We're going to keep making it on PlayStation. Yeah, but like, what if? Like, what if you do take it away? And what happens if like, what's going to happen to Sony? Like, if you take it away, what's actually going to happen to Sony? Like,
Our friends.
won't someone think of Sony? Like, what's going to happen to them?
It's just weird. It is really weird. I don't understand.
It borders on creepy. Like, it's just like, you know, actually look at stuff that could happen. Like, actually discuss things. Like, the whole cloud argument, there's a bit of an argument there. They could become such a strong market leader in cloud specifically that there's no room for new competitors and consumers lose choice and blah, 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 blah. That is at least an argument I can kind of see, because we've had Stadia leave, which had nothing to do with Microsoft, mind you, because was Call of Duty on Stadia before this deal was announced? No, it was not.
Yeah.
So Stadia didn't close because of Microsoft. Stadia closed because Google are incompetent and never wanted to invest the money required to get their foot in the door in the gaming industry. That's why Stadia's gone. Like, so the cloud argument I can understand, because right now in streaming and cloud, there's who? There's Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, and PlayStation.
Yep, 100%.
So there's already more competitors in streaming than there is in consoles. In consoles, there's 3. In streaming, there's 4. And all 4 are big. Nvidia is huge. Microsoft's huge. Amazon is huge. And PlayStation is huge. So all of a sudden, that argument falls away a little bit. Because again, right now, guess what? Call of Duty's not streaming on any of those services anyway. So if Microsoft buys Call of Duty and says Call of Duty is only going to be on our streaming service, technically nothing has changed for those other 3 because they already don't have Call of Duty. True. It just makes Microsoft's streaming service more attractive as an option. But guess what? The reality of the situation is 99 out of 100 people aren't playing Call of Duty via cloud.
No way.
And that's where the cloud argument falls apart. Like, the same people, some of the same people, and again, I'm not going to name them, some of the same people that I see say, oh, but what about cloud? What about cloud? Are also the people that shit on cloud and say cloud's not the future. Cloud's not a viable option to actually play, you know, games that require twitch reflexes and blah, blah, blah. So why is cloud really a problem? The future isn't really playing COD via cloud.
No, but
The irony is Sony's games would play really well via cloud. That's the irony of the situation. Those slower paced games that don't have the super tight twitchy controls, they would actually play surprisingly well via cloud. And the funny part is PlayStation's remote play so much better than Xbox remote play.
I don't know.
I was playing Street Fighter 5 on PlayStation remote play. Yeah.
Sorry. Is remote play on Xbox still alive?
Yes.
It does work.
Yeah, they actually pulled out of the Xbox PC app for a little bit and then was brought back in.
Okay.
But it's
I saw
why
it went away for a while, didn't it? I wasn't wrong about that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not very good. Where the PlayStation remote play is actually fantastic. Like, you could easily play Sony's tentpoles via their remote play. That's how good it is. I'm not saying you wouldn't notice any lag, but due to the nature of the types of games they make, it's doable. It's playable. Like, you could comfortably do it without getting pissed off like you do on Xbox remote play. And I don't know how that works. I don't know what Sony's doing differently to Microsoft for it to be so much better. with PlayStation Remote Play. Because Microsoft is the one that has the infrastructure, don't they?
Apparently.
With Azure.
Well,
That's
around
the
the
remote
reason.
play is just directly between your device and your.
But I don't
console.
think it is with Xbox. That's the problem. I think with Xbox, Remote Play goes console, server, you. Where I think with PlayStation, it just goes console, you. So if your upload's good, then you're good. Again, I'm not 100% on that. But I think with discussions I've had with someone in our Discord who works for Xbox, the impression I got was that it goes console, their server, you. Which is why it's not great. Where with PlayStation, it's console, you. So it's totally dependent on your upload. And my upload is good enough. So when I play Remote Play PlayStation, it's like amazing. I played Street Fighter just fine. And I was pulling off all my Dugans and my Hardugans and all that sort of stuff. And I was doing it just fine. With touch controls. With touch controls, no less. I wasn't using a DualSense or a DualShock. I was playing touch controls. And it was actually completely playable. So the irony of the cloud situation is that Sony's games would actually play better on cloud than COD would. So the cloud... So it's great that regulators have brought up the cloud argument because it's a legitimate argument. Microsoft would probably be the dominant player in cloud. But cloud is never going to be the dominant form of playing video games. So that argument kind of falls apart. Really, this is all ultimately about console. That's what it's realistically about.
Yep, true story.
And in console, they're not the market leader. So what does it matter?
Well, we'll find out by March of 2023. We'll find out what it matters, apparently.
I just don't... I don't know. Like, I don't see Microsoft... I don't see Microsoft going from being this company that's all about opening everything up, which they've been doing for the better part of a decade, yeah? For the better part of a decade, Microsoft's been all about putting their stuff everywhere. They've been all about opening everything up, open source this, put it everywhere. And then they're suddenly going to buy ABK, twirl their evil mustaches and go, ha ha ha, it's been a decades-old ruse. We were just planning to lock down COD and shut down PlayStation and shut down Nintendo. And I just don't see that happening. And that's where a lot of the arguments seem to be. They just think that Microsoft's going to turn heel all of a sudden. After a decade building up this reputation as being as open as they've ever been. Because remember, Microsoft did used to be that big evil corporation that wanted to close off everything and shut down everyone and stomp on the competition. That's the company Microsoft used to be. But they've spent a decade or more changing that image. They're not going to undo all of that. And remember, that image they've been building it across Windows, Xbox, all their ventures.
Yep.
They're not going to undo all that work building up their image just to undo it for Call of Duty, for one game, for a video game. That's like, there's just...
That wasn't the main emphasis of why they did the deal, even. They've said repeatedly.
No, I know. It's for mobile. It's for mobile and
know.
King. But all these fanboys care about is Call of Duty.
Yep. So they ignore
And seemingly that's all the regulators care about is Call of Duty. No one's mentioned, well, what's going to happen if you take Tony Hawk away? Oh, no, what's going to happen if you take away Crash Bandicoot? Crash Bandicoot was like a stalwart of the PlayStation ecosystem. What's going to happen to Crash Bandicoot? It's all about Call of Duty. And that's fine. It's because Call of Duty is far, 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 far bigger than everything else. But in the end, if it's all about the consumer, okay, Timmy's just going to get an Xbox for Christmas so he can play Call of Duty.
What if his grandma gets him an Xbox One, though? Because it's so confusing.
Yeah, by
with the
accident. Oh, no. Like, it's just... Oh, my God. Rand's got another super chat. Yay. Should I take this prediction of yours about COD not being on PS6 like your prediction that the deal would be done by now? Who remembers September, October, lol? Well, am I not allowed to have predictions? Alright, I was wrong. I thought it'd be done by now. I I guess I naively thought that adults were working at all these regulators and not Twitter fanboys. I just assumed they were all adults that understood stuff and made sane arguments. I didn't know. I didn't realize that there was literal fanboys working at all these regulators that were worried about PlayStation not being number one anymore. That's on me. Now I know that there's lots of fanboys working there, so this might take a while.
It's so silly, man. It is so silly. And depressing.
I just want to see good arguments. I don't care if it gets blocked. Let it get blocked. You know what? Block it tomorrow so that they can start working on getting Sega. Block it tomorrow. Because I want Sega and Capcom. I don't want ABK. I don't care about ABK. But block it for a good reason. Block it for a legitimate reason. Like an actual concern that you have evidence to support that Microsoft could do this thing. And evidence that's not 15, 20 years old. Like,
but they did this once in
2003.
But you know,
back when they had Windows 95, they like shut down. And you know what the irony of it is? Even back when Microsoft were like an evil company, like full Hollywood movie evil company, they still bailed Apple out twice.
Yeah. True.
They bailed Apple. Apple only exists today because of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Talk about creating your own worst enemy. Like, Apple only exists today because of Microsoft. Like, and that was even back when they were the evil corporation. They saved Apple twice. Like, just, I don't know. I'm yet to see decent arguments to block this. It's not that I don't want it blocked. I don't care. I just want to see good arguments for blocking it.
No,
That's all. And Brazil, the irony is that the Brazil regulators were the only ones that came up with a good argument that I didn't think of. Completely didn't think of it. Now, they obviously shut down their own argument because, like a normal adult with a brain should, you think things through and you explain them logically. So the Brazil regulators' argument was, well, hold on, if they've got COD and the power of their first party will be so strong, they might not need third parties on their platform anymore. So what if they shut out all those third parties? That's actually a decent argument that I never even thought about. But of course they said, well, why would they do that? Why would they forego all that money?
They wouldn't.
Just because they've got Call of Duty. They're already getting Call of Duty money now. So why would they then forego all that third party? So they came up with a really good argument and then said, okay, well, hold on. Realistically, that's not going to happen because ABC. That's how a regulator should work. They shouldn't be going, oh, but I've got a PlayStation 5. What's going to happen if they take COD away? Well, no, we've got to block this deal because I don't want PlayStation to be number 2 or 3. I need them to be number 1 so I can feel better about myself. They have to be number 1. PlayStation has to be number 1. I can't live in a world where PlayStation's number 1, not number 1. It's just weird. It's a depressing world. Guys, PlayStation's not going to get Sega'd. It's not going to happen. If that's your worry, don't worry about it. The worst case scenario is that they end up third, making a little bit less money than they do now. All right. Big deal. Big deal. Then they're not going to get Sega'd. It's fine. Then if that's the fear, don't stress. That's not going to happen. They're not going to get Sega'd. Even if COD got locked away, they're not going to get Sega'd. And I mean, PlayStation fanboys are the last people that should be worried about that, shouldn't they? Because all their first-party bangers sell so many copies, and that's the reason everyone actually buys a PlayStation. What's the problem? What's the issue? I mean, look at Nintendo. Nintendo's number 1 right now without Call of Duty, aren't they?
Yep.
Just selling 48 million copies of Mario Kart 8 and 42 million copies of Animal Crossing and 24.6 million of Super Mario Odyssey and like 30 million. They're doing it all without Call of Duty, aren't they? That's through the power of their exclusives. So what's PlayStation got to worry about? God of War just got a 94 on Metacritic and will probably sell 20 million copies. What's the worry if you don't have Call of Duty? What's the stress?
There isn't one.
I just don't get it. It's just all so disingenuous. I want to hear good arguments. Give me good arguments for blocking it. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear good ones. I don't want to hear silly fanboy arguments that are just like, oh, but PlayStation won't be number one and Call of Duty's the biggest. And because again, I'll tell you right now, Microsoft's putting Call of Duty on Switch. Mark my words, they're going to find a way.
Publicly said it.
Come hell or high water, Microsoft is going to put Call of Duty on Switch. I said that before Microsoft said it. Even before they publicly said it. I was like, they are going to find a way to put Call of Duty on Switch. 100% they are. So again, your only concern is PlayStation's welfare. And that's not a good enough reason to block this. It's just not. Like, not even close to being a good enough reason. Oh my God, I hate this topic.
You certainly talk about it long enough, though.
Oh my God, I hate it. Because Twitter doesn't give me enough characters. Twitter does not give me enough characters to explain this stuff. And
don't
people
worry, Elon's
keep telling
got you
me
covered. He said they're coming up with something, their own version of longer tweets. He knows how to run a social media platform.
Oh, good. That's good.
Woo.
Gonna buy that check mark for XboxEra?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
$8. How much is it in the UK? In Australia, it's like $12.
I reckon it'll be a tenner or something like that, but that's fine.
Keep electing the toys, it'll be about 50.
I'm enjoying the new meta game on Twitter, where now every time I see a check mark, I see if it's a bought one or a real one. Like with every single check mark I see. Like I check now. I check if it's real or if it's bought.
Desktop where you can get it, so it just tells you. It says either actually verified or fake verified.
Yeah, that's funny.
What a world!
It's so funny. It's good.
I think that's it for news, though. Thankfully,
it is. Oh my God,
does it mean that it's time for name a game?
Oh yeah, it is. Everyone's
all right, let's get right
favorite
into it.
new segment.
I'm just gonna prop up all the graphics. Ignore that video that Nick always talks about, and let's go.
What do you mean?
Fine, I'll hit the video. Jesus Christ.
He's teasing me.
It's name a game.
Okay. Let's do it.
Ooh, getting all my effects up. I arise from nothing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Name a Game, Part 3. For some reason,
soon to be brought to you by someone, hopefully.
Wow, what a tease.
Yeah.
So good at this.
Just ran watching. Just ran watching.
Did we read
it's me.
Right.
I'm Mario.
Oh, we did.
This is Name a Game, the XboxEra game show, where I take, and I have quite a bit of fun, even if Nick keeps trying to get other people to do it to help me. I have a lot of fun taking the names of video games and finding synonyms for them that don't make much sense but are funny. John and Nick will be fighting each other, tooth and nail, to yell their name first and then giving their answer.
Yes,
no matter
that's
what.
Right. That's the buzzer.
It's a stupid rule, but okay.
You want a better buzzer?
I don't need a better buzzer. You just speak first. We can have an entire 3-hour conversation
that even has rollback netcode. You spend $500 because so people start signing up on the Patreon, start signing up on the YouTube channel. By the way, we have YouTube channel signups now. You'll be getting exclusive podcasts from that hopefully sometime soon. Give me a Go XLR, bam, I can do it all. But for now, this is Name a Game. They will yell their name after I type out on screen and say, what the heck is this game that I'm talking about? As I get
so what's the topic? What's this week's topic?
I'm not going to tell you. Now you got to guess. Okay, fine. This week's topic are games that are available for backwards compatibility from the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So these are games you can play on your Xbox Series console, or your Xbox One, Xbox Series console. So 360 and OG Xbox games that are backwards compatible.
Okay. Only ones that are backwards compatible. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to put the answer on this one. Let me type that in before I forget.
All right. Only backwards
Please.
compatible. That makes things
Only
trickier
backwards
because
compatible games. I
don't
wanted
know
to make
all
it a
the
little
backwards
tough.
compatible
Yes.
games.
Can always be easy. We gotta be a little tricky sometime. The first one is Executioner's Code.
Oh, Nick.
Nick.
Assassin's Creed.
Correct. Ding,
Well
ding, ding.
played.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay.
Last one. For Sheesh Pull Nick.
Sheeple.
Sheesh Pull. You were Sheesh Pull Nick.
Shep Shell.
We ever have Greg Miller on the show? We gotta.
Well, we had
All right.
Destin, and Destin called me Sheep Shell, I think, once.
Yeah, they've both really butchered
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
at all canceled yet name. All right,
No.
question number 2. Signal of responsibility. State of the art hostilities. State of the art is one.
What? Oh God, what?
Signal
Call
of
of Duty Modern
responsibility.
Warfare. John,
Correct.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Look, I have all that
Correct.
time to get the right answer out. Jeez.
Bing! Correct.
Wow.
Sorry, 99 Rookin, he got it. See, that was a good one.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Thank you. I mean, they've mostly been good. All right, number 3. Oh yeah, I could start doing the timer thing too. I forgot to set that up.
Oh yeah, the timer.
I'll have it for next time. Real busy time.
It's been a busy week.
All right, number 3. Deceased zone. Deceased zone.
Oh, Nick.
Nick.
Dead Space.
Correct. Ding ding ding.
One more and I win.
Next one's pretty tricky.
Okay. I probably won't get it.
Oh yeah, my little points thing isn't updating. God damn it. One sec. Let me fix this point.
Yeah,
thing.
it's
I don't know why
2-1.
not
It's
updating.
2-1 my way.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second.
No
For some reason, it's not
changing the
showing.
scores and having the scores intentionally wrong. It's 2-1 my way.
Stupid board. Why aren't you showing? The heck did I make you show again? I forget. Fudge.
Is the scoreboard not working?
No, it's not. The media source, I always forget it doesn't want to always update. So
Okay.
Let
Well, we know
me-
it's 2-1.
We know it's too
Boop.
bad. It's fine.
Yeah.
should be there now. Yoink.
Yep, it is. But then it's all gone. The scoreboard's completely.
Yeah,
disappeared.
why is it down there? What the hell? Oh, I copied the wrong one. Give it a second. Boop. There we go.
This is
Bam.
going
2-1, Nick.
swimmingly.
Now it's a grey and
Forget-
blue box.
No,
Hey, it's
Don't
back.
worry
It's
Shut up.
okay.
It's
Okay.
fine. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
It's
2-1.
fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I forget. Every week it makes a new URL. I just got to throw the new URL in the browser source. That's it. Easy
Okay.
peasy mac and cheesy lemon
Go.
squeezy. Shut the fuck up.
This is for the
Okay.
tie for John, for the win for me. Let's go.
I for John, the win for Nick. Next one is once I resize it for showing. It is Wyvern Epic Beginnings.
Wyvern? The hell is a wyvern? I don't even know what that word is. What?
Dragon
So-
Age. John, Dragon Age Origins.
Correct. Ding 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 ding.
Oh, I don't even know what a wyvern is.
Wyvern.
What the hell's a...
A wyvern is what everyone calls a dragon in the West.
I was
Dragons
like,
are actually
epoch.
long,
What does epoch mean?
serpenty
I don't
things.
know.
Wyverns are what we think of.
I don't know what the hell a wyvern is.
Ooh, is good.
Wyvern.
I just told you it's what we think of as dragons.
Yeah, Wyvern's a dragon.
They're not actually dragons; they're wyverns. Western depictions of dragons are almost always wyverns with the big 4 legs, a tail.
I've just
But
literally
actual
never
dragons
heard
are big
of the
serpents.
word. I've never heard of the word wyvern.
The
That's
little guy in the middle. Who's the little guy in the middle? It's Jesse, our producer, aka Don Cabeza, man behind the YouTube channel, who does all of our reviews and stuff. He's you know, that's who he is.
Behind me is a green screen.
Yeah.
Ah, my arm. Okay. For the win.
The
if either
win.
Of you, boy,
Yeah.
this is a long.
Ooh,
for the
down
win?
to the wire.
I'm just gonna make this huge so everyone can read it. It is really dumb. Corona, rotational declining scared serviceman.
Corona, rotational declining scared servicemen. Man.
Corona. Scared.
I reckon we both missed this one. It's been a
10.
while.
9, 8, 7, 6,
Corona is like either a beer or a virus.
3, 2, 1. The correct answer is Halo Orbital Drop Shop Troopers.
Oh,
What? Halo ODST?
Yeah,
Oh,
well played.
Corona?
Well played.
Why Corona?
Corona is a Halo effect. It can be the
Gotta go with another
I
tough one.
didn't know that.
It'll work. You can't complain. Shut up. It's your game. All right. For an attempt at the win is... How's it? Leading appointment attack surveillance. Now, to get this one more correct, the name is generally an acronym. So each of these is the letter of an acronym. The game is not known for 4 different words like this.
Say it again. Leading appointment.
Leading appointment attack surveillance. Give you a tough one.
What the
And I'll be
hell?
easy.
Leading
This game is an
appointment.
acronym. Put a dot in between each one.
Yeah, I know. Leading appointment. Leading appointment. Nick. I'm just gonna guess fear.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. First encounter assault recon.
Because that was the only game I can think of that has an acronym. Because I know it's fear, but it's actually
played.
F.E.A.R. What does fear stand for?
First
what does
encounter
fear-
assault recon. Is a really fucking stupid name, but that is what it is.
Leading
First,
appointment.
First, leading
First,
first,
leading.
encounter,
Yeah.
appointment,
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
Encounter assault attack recon surveillance. It all works,
Yeah.
man.
Well played. And
yeah,
I got to
dummy.
say, Nick, deserved win. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, I just
Alright,
guessed
and we're
fear
going-
because that's literally the only game I could think of that's an acronym.
This is count.
Unless,
Put it up there.
because what was I thinking of? I thought there was one other game, but no, I was like fear. I'm like, because fear is an acronym. Yes, Soul Blazers.
going-
Fear is an acronym. If you go and look at the cover of Fear on 360, it's an acronym. FEAR.
Yeah.
Hmm.
True.
And now we do the rest of them because I did them all, so why not? I'm not going to save
So
them for
I'm
later.
up 2-1 now. Yes,
You are. Consequence 3. I thought those were kind of easy. I just put the 3 on there. There's been a bunch of games in this series. Just go by the name Consequence.
Consequence. What the hell? Consequence.
When it's only one word, it can still.
Consequence, a result.
And it's backwards compatible.
Consequence, result.
Yeah, it's like a consequence is... Yeah, that's why I'm racking my brain trying to think of the word, and it's the 3. It's the 3rd game.
Mhm.
It's not Crisis. It's not
Super
Crisis
popular
3.
series. No.
Yeah,
It's
it's
an
not Crisis
unbelievably
3.
popular series. Has a TV show in the works. I'll give hints when it's already done.
Consequence.
Has a TV show in the works.
Executive produced
In the
by the
works.
creators of Westworld
Oh.
or Amazon.
Oh.
Oh, John.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 3.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, Fallout. Fallout
Alright.
3, yeah.
The next one, just for fun,
Damn.
is super popular game series, and I won't say anything else. Gaboosh! It is Accumulation Aftermath.
Hold on. Is the gaboosh part of it?
No.
I was like confused. The way he said it, I thought the gaboosh. I'm like, what the fuck is gaboosh? So hold on, say it again.
All about
So
the
what
way
actually is that?
because
Because I'm thrown by the gaboosh. What is it?
Accumulation Aftermath. The gaboosh was just for the animation I have when the text shows up.
Accumulation aftermath. Accumulation. So to accumulate is the like. Man. Oh, this one's gonna kill me. This one's gonna kill me.
Is it a Japanese game?
No.
Accumulation aftermath. The aftermath, like
If I had to guess, it's a Canadian game, I think would be correct.
accumulate to... No, it's not. Hold on, Nick. I'm locked out if I get this wrong. Hold on. Let me just ask for a clue before I say it wrong.
Oh, like that works.
Was this one I gave an example of in the very first episode?
No idea. You gave a bunch. But yes.
Is it Mass Effect?
Correct.
Yeah, mass effects. Yeah.
No,
Right.
because in my head I'm like, accumulate is to amass. If you accumulate, you amass something. It's not a Mass Effect.
You go to thesaurus.com and put mass accumulate, shows up. You blame them.
Interesting.
No, I'm fine with it. That's a funny one.
Okay.
It's all good.
And
That's why I'm like,
there will be
wait, is it-
repeats of games said different ways because there's just not that many games that have names that work for this. Fallout. Okay.
Was that the last
Fallout was
one?
older. No, I got a few more. Next one is
Oh, really?
Crimson Deceased Repentance. That's an easy one.
What?
Crimson Deceased
John.
Repentance. John.
Red something.
Red 2 Redemption or Revenge, whatever the...
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
just Red Dead Redemption.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Correct. That's an easy one. That's why I didn't say anything. And there's finally a last one for the week. I'll mix it up with non-Xbox stuff next week and stuff. We'll do like a multi-plat one next week.
Do Nintendo ones.
No, I don't know anything about Nintendo. All right, last one. Instruments of Battle. Discernment.
Nick.
You forgot your name.
Gears of War Judgment.
Correct.
Yeah.
I love how the hard part was remembering your name to call it. And everyone, thank you. That was Name a Game.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Name a Game, even though I'm losing now.
Soon to be
It's only
possibly
2-1.
sponsored.
Yeah. I have a story. If we end up signing that deal, I'm gonna go off script with the very first read and tell a story, a real life story. And see how long the deal lasts after I tell my real life story.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh God.
Now that segment's
Okay.
over, remember, drinkcontrol.com, CTRL/XboxEra.
Yes.
You can get 10% off using the code
10% off.
XboxEra.
Get yourself one of these cool shakers.
Delicious
These shakers.
fruity shakes.
Yeah. Get these shakers. I'm telling you now, I promise you, it will be the best meal replacement shake you've ever had. It tastes so nice. As someone who has had like 50 of them over the last 20 years, by far the best one. Not even close. Okay. Thanks, patrons.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. Patrons?
Yes, let's thank our patrons.
Yep.
At XboxEra, we are funded and loved and adored by our
Almost exclusively.
almost exclusively, by our patrons. It's the sole reason we're able to do so much. It's the sole reason the site and the forum exists. It's the sole reason this podcast exists weekly. So big love to you guys and our fledgling YouTube membership crew as well. We adore you all. Thank you for your contributions and your support. As part of that, you get to ask a question every week, and we've got a little list of questions to go through. What have we got this week, Nick?
Just before I do that, a thought that popped into my head, and I want to say it because the way my brain works right now with the early onset dementia, I'm going to forget. So I wanted to say it now that I remembered.
Okay.
I noticed that Kay Asante's in the chat, and I'll ask him a question live on air, and I'll see if he answers in the chat. Hey, Kay Asante, would you want to jump on the show? Like sometime soon? I'll ask him. He's on Boom's show a lot. And I see him in our chat, and I thought, maybe he wants to jump on our show. I don't know if we're good enough. Maybe we're not good enough for him to be on our show after being on Boom's show. I don't know.
Boom's
But I'm
pretty shit hot. So
I'm just saying we might not be up to the standard. But I just thought I'd ask Kay Asante while he appears to be in the chat if he'd be interested. But we'll see if he replies.
I think he might be a little behind because he keeps responding to things that we talked about like 5 minutes ago.
Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, community questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. First one. Hytham G. Hello, gents. About to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever with my friend. But to ask you about this. If you guys pick and choose to play T'Challa, aka Black Panther, although it wouldn't be the same without Chadwick Boseman, since he was the best Black Panther, well, mate, he's the only Black Panther, but who would you guys personally pick and choose to play as him? P.S. Let's say there was okay, he's got GOW. I assume he's talking about Gears of War. Gears of War movie, which personal director or producer would you guys pick and choose to direct and produce the Gears of War movie? I like that question. So, who would play T'Challa if not Chadwick Boseman?
Tom Holland.
Chris Pratt. Here's
Ryan
the funny,
Reynolds.
here's the
Sorry,
funny
I don't know why I did
story.
him.
Here's the funny story. So, allegedly, I can't remember if again, my failing memory, allegedly, Chadwick Boseman was aware of his illness at the time he took the role of Black Panther. Is that not right?
I think so.
Because I think Marvel and Disney were tossing up between him and Michael B. Jordan. And Michael B. Jordan ended up being Killmonger.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if Marvel had their time over, having known what they now know. Would they have gone with Michael B. Jordan? Because I was going to say maybe Michael B. Jordan could be a good Black Panther, but he is also in the universe dead.
Yeah, so he can't come because someone else now.
Yeah, so it can't be him. And the thing
I was
is,
right. He just finally saw what you said.
Yeah, he did. He did. Kay Asante just saw it after the fact. He needs to click on the little button that says live, so it's like up to date. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Okay, if we live in a world where he was just recast, because I think even in the movie Black Panther, he's gone. That version of Black Panther is now gone. So, I guess I'd go with either Michael B. Jordan if they all went back, or who else? I don't know, really.
I can say, after seeing the movie, that T'Challa himself will never be recast.
That's what I'm saying. He won't be.
That's the right thing to do.
So in Hytham's hypothetical example, we're assuming if we went back in time to when Chadwick was cast, who else would we get to play it?
Tom Holland.
I guess, their choice number 2 was Michael B. Jordan. So I think would have been a good Black Panther.
Yeah,
I think
he
would
may
have
well
been okay.
have been, but
I don't think Michael B. Jordan has the same... Like, Chadwick Boseman, I don't know, because I don't know him in person, obviously, but the way he acted, Chadwick Boseman has this regal feel about him.
Yeah.
Which I think why he was so good for Black Panther, who is a king. So I think that's why he was such a good choice, because he has that... In the same way Kate Middleton does. Kate Middleton just seems like a royal. Just the way she looks and holds herself and everything. And I feel I feel like Chadwick Boseman has that quality as well, and that's why he was so good for Black Panther. He just comes across like a king, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly.
It does. I agree. We're also about 3 hours in, and that's only the first half of the first question. So how about the second half?
Please,
Okay.
Lord. Please, Lord.
If there's a Gears of War movie, which director, who would we get to direct the Gears of War movie?
Travis
Michael
was
Bay?
correct. Denis Villeneuve.
Oh,
Yes.
that would be
Michael
awesome.
Bay?
That's
Don't
director
get me
going
wrong.
today. Michael
Michael
Bay
Bay.
sucks shit. No, Michael Bay can go away. You go
You
do
got to pair
Transformers.
Michael Bay with the right property. I think Michael Bay and Gears of War works.
Nah, I'm not with you, Nick. I
Spielberg.
no, because he'd want to put kids in
Spielberg.
it in some form. He'd put a kid as the hero somewhere in
Look
there.
at Saving Private Ryan. Look at
Nah,
Saving Private Ryan.
Look at the year that came out. It's not the same director.
98. It was on
no.
TV the other night. God, that's a good movie. Saving Private Ryan is such an amazing movie.
Cast
great
Vin Diesel in the Gears movie and kill him in the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Spielberg, 90s Spielberg, would do a Gears movie great. Otherwise, do that dude that I love so much. That did Tron
Akira
Legacy and
Kurosawa.
Top Gun Maverick.
Let me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Him.
No,
Yes.
I would pick.
That's actually a decent.
Yeah, do him. Because he can do anything.
Matthew Vaughn.
No, not.
Oh yeah,
Is that.
yeah.
Who's Matthew Vaughn?
He did Kingsman, all the Kingsman movies. So he's got a good sense of humor, and I think Gears has to have a sense of humor throughout it. Follow up to that would be
the Batman.
I think he did.
No, that's
But
Matthew Reeves.
Yeah, that is
That's
Matthew
Matthew
Reeves.
Reeves.
Matthews.
Gareth Evans.
What about Guy Ritchie?
Nah. Gareth
Uwe
Evans, he
Boll.
did the raid.
Good call, nrXic.
Oh yeah, you bowl. Did you ever
Uwe.
see House of the Dead? Did you ever see House of the Dead?
No.
Yes.
Man,
My God.
that was like I watched it because I'm a Sega fanboy. House of the Dead movie. Got to watch a House of the Dead movie. It was the worst piece of
You ever
shit
see
I've
Dungeon
seen.
Siege?
No.
Boy. Somehow even worse.
What about Gareth Evans?
Who's that?
I think it's Gareth Evans. He directed the raid and the raid 2.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Come
How
on.
about Garth Marenghi?
I don't know who that is.
Anyone who's seen Dark Place, they would know. He's the man for it.
I don't know.
All right, question 2.
Joseph
Yes.
Kaczynski's my man. Joseph Kaczynski can do anything.
Yeah,
Question 2.
He'd probably do well.
Okay, 99 Rukin. With all these video game TV shows and movies being announced, and Nick did say Microsoft was looking to get involved, if I remember correctly. I guess my question is, which company would Microsoft buy between Disney, Paramount, Warner Discovery for IPs to make it fun? If Microsoft gets Paramount, they most likely get Sega for the Sonic movies and Halo TV show. Yeah, that's true. Warner Brothers would be for DC and fighting games, and Disney for Star Wars and Marvel. Who do you pick? Second question, who would make the best crossover game? Who would Microsoft buy out of them? Warner. Microsoft would go for Warner.
You reckon?
Out of them, Microsoft would go for Warner. Yeah. Just because of everything that comes with it, not just for the movies and TV shows. Like if they bought Warner Discovery or bought the Warner part off Discovery or whatever, or just all of it, they also get the studios. They also get HBO. They also get all those IPs. They get the game studios. They get all of it. Disney's just not possible. Microsoft ain't buying Disney. Not because they can't afford it, but because it's just not happening. Like it just would not happen. Paramount's possible, yes, very much so. And they would get some very interesting IPs with Paramount. Transformers.
Yep.
They'd get rights to the Sonic movies. Yeah, Paramount. But I just think they get more with Warner Discovery. Because they get, like I said, they get their own movie streaming service built in. They get the video game studios, good ones, and great IP, all part of the deal. And do they own Spotify?
No.
No?
No, they don't. Spotify's an independent company. They don't own
They
it.
are still independent? Okay.
Yeah, I think
For some
so.
reason, I had it in my head that Spotify was bought.
Well, they're an IPO, so I think they're on the stock exchange, but I don't think they're owned by a big conglomerate.
Ah, okay.
I could be wrong, but
Okay. They do own some music, though, I think.
yeah, maybe.
John, you never once asked for likes. I am disappointed in you.
I know. I'm too tired this week.
Oh, I can play Somerville.
Who would make the best crossover game? Well, I mean, Nintendo already kind of has with Smash Brothers.
No, it's the Sega Fighters game where you could be the Daytona racing car and punch people.
Fighters
With your
Mega
tires.
Mix.
Yeah,
Fighters Mega
That's
Mix.
fun.
No, but
that is the ultimate crossover game.
But Smash Brothers already is like Snake, Sonic, Banjo, Minecraft, Kingdom Hearts, person, Sora.
Sora.
The Final Fantasy
it's Fortnite.
characters.
I mean, there's nothing bigger than Fortnite
But-
for crossover.
But that's what well, yes, Fortnite as well. Fortnite is like the ultimate crossover game. Like, there's literally everything pretty much in Fortnite. Actually,
Imagine if they ever got Mario.
I just realized something.
Hmm.
I can't believe Snake, Solid Snake, isn't in Fortnite.
Not a very big character. Not kidding.
I don't know about that. I reckon Solid Snake would do real well in Fortnite. I'm surprised Konami have not explored that option.
Well, they probably want to do invest in their pachinko parlors, and they're trying to steer clear of the Yakuza.
Okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, I mean the best crossover games already exist. So
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. Like, genuinely.
yeah, I'm not
like,
sure either. I mean, Microsoft could do a good one. Microsoft could do a good one now that they own Bethesda and may soon own ABK. Post ABK, Microsoft would be right up there for being able to produce an amazing crossover game.
Yeah,
Just through the sheer volume of IP they would own.
I'd agree with that.
Okay. Top.
Top
Hello, panel.
banana.
How long is too long for you to be allowed to play a ranked mode in a game? I think having to wait at all is stupid. At least let me play with a full stack. To add a bit of context, to be able to play Overwatch 2 ranked, you need to get 50 wins in quick play. Really?
Doesn't
You
For
can't
brand
just-
new players who haven't had an account before, I believe.
It's to prevent Smurf accounts, right? That's the goal.
It's pretty standard.
I didn't know it was for ranked in Halo as well, though. I have to admit that was new news to me.
In
like
Halo
10
it's 25 games.
Because
Yeah.
I thought I've jumped in and just played my 10 ranked, I think straight away, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I played 25 games first. I can't remember.
I feel like I would remember playing 25 games before being able to go into ranked, but I don't know. However, Halo doesn't offer an unranked playlist with all the same game modes as ranked. Quick play has extra game modes. And finally, in Smite, you need to master 14 gods twice and reach level 30.
That's bonkers.
What? P.S. How do you convince your friends the experience will eventually get better once you've made it to ranked?
I
Yeah.
don't.
Good luck.
Overwatch 2 ranked can be absolute misery because if you're on the bad team, those are much longer matches and you can't leave without getting a massive penalty. So
I don't
ranked
think
is
you
an
should have to
every
wait
once in
at
a while
all.
thing.
If you want to go into ranked and get stomped, that's on you.
It's about Smurf accounts. It's about people going in, who are great at the game, making new accounts. so
To
they
go
can
stomp
crash.
new players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you be bothered?
You
How
beat
can
them
It
out.
someone
feels
be
good
bothered?
to stomp people. It feels real good to kick ass.
I know, but like,
Like, when I look at all the complaints about social play and SBMM in Halo, I'm like, yes, because you miss absolutely destroying some people that are just trying to have fun. That's why you
yeah,
complain.
but
about
like
it.
the effort to create an account and then signing into that account and signing out of that account and then signing into your account and then how can you be bothered?
People are strange, bro.
Yeah, stomping someone feels great, but I also enjoy the challenge too. Like, is it just people that didn't grow up playing sport?
Possibly.
Is that what it is? Like, I was, despite appearances, I was quite sporty. Like, I played basketball as a kid and footy and soccer and all those sorts of things. And I love table tennis. Like, I was one of those people that sucked at table tennis but loved table tennis.
Yeah.
And then my dad was quite good at table tennis. I was not. And then what happened was I got a job at a retailer, and that retailer had a table tennis table in the back room.
Practice mode.
And the guys that worked there at that retailer were like astonishingly good at table tennis. So by playing these guys and getting my ass kicked just constantly, it forced me to get better.
You got
And
good.
eventually I became a gun at table tennis. And then when I went back to school, because I went to school a second time to do a different field of study, there was a table tennis table at my uni. And it got very competitive. And I took my experience of getting stomped at work and started stomping everyone at school because of how good I had become. Like that's but again, I grew up playing sport. So I feel like when I look at how many people quit in Rocket League and I look at how they play Rocket League, I feel like there's this entire generation of kids that don't play real sport.
I would agree with that.
And have only played games in a competitive way, which is why they don't know how to process being beaten and they just quit.
Yep.
Because they just don't understand. It's like they can't process the fact that they're getting destroyed because they think they're amazing. And they get destroyed and they just quit.
It's 100% a thing.
The new generation is bad. We've been hearing this for the
No, it's not the new generation is bad. There are kids these days that play sport. But what I'm saying is when you play a video game, a competitive one, you can tell when you're playing someone that has not played real sport. Like you can tell straight away. Not through just the fact that they don't know how to deal with losing, but especially with a ball sport, like with Rocket League, you can apply a lot of real life soccer tactics to Rocket League. I do myself. I was quite good at soccer. And I apply a lot of those tactics when I play Rocket League. And when I do that, I can tell, I can just tell the people that have never played soccer in real life. You can see it. You visibly can see it. They have no idea how to read the play, no idea how to read the ball, what's happening, what that opponent's going to do. Like, in real sport, you learn, over playing sport for many, many years, you learn how your opponents work and what they're going to do and how they think. You can apply that in sports games.
You can.
So you can just...
I think as well, like, it teaches you, it's not just tactics, it's teamwork.
Teamwork as well, yes, very much so. Teamwork too. And trusting your teammate. Trusting your teammates and understanding that they're going to have your back, or reading a situation saying, shit, I reckon my teammate's going to miss this. I better be here to support just in case.
Yeah.
Rather than assuming they'll get it and like get caught out when they don't. Like just, again, you can just tell, as someone that's played sport his whole life, you can tell when you're playing with someone that doesn't play sport. You can just tell.
I reckon that's true.
Anyway, good question that I don't know if we really answered. I mean, I said at the start, you shouldn't have to wait at all. If you want to get stomped,
go get stomped. But I understand the need
stomped.
to protect. I understand the need to protect players from Smurf accounts. I definitely do.
Okay. All right. Good old Collingwood. Happy 40th anniversary to Microsoft Flight Simulator, John, Nick, and Jesse. These questions are for John and were posted in the You Had Me at Halo thread in the mistaken expectation that John would be guesting in this week's podcast. John, now that the NDA has been removed, what can you tell us now that you couldn't before? I mean, what did you really want to tell us? Edit. I've got more questions for John. Hopefully they can be short answers. How many Forge creators were involved in developing HIF? I don't know what that is. How many...
HIF? Halo Infinite Forge? So
yeah,
developers, so. I think, and don't quote me on any of this because I'm spitballing. I don't even know. I think it's a team 5 times the size of Halo 5, and I think that was only like 4 or 5 people, so something like
that. How many prototype maps did you discard?
Over serious ones, 6. They're not discarded. They're just waiting for the right seed. Other stuff, when Forge launched, and the stuff I've been working on in the dev build were copied across, I had 17 pages worth of files. It's a lot.
What was it like discussing HIF with your fellow creators?
Incredible. Like a really good bunch of guys that really want the best for the tool. The Forge community is pretty inclusive, pretty helpful, open. I've really enjoyed the experience of doing it with these guys. So yeah, 100%. Would do it again. Would Forge again.
How did you feel when Forge Beta escaped into the wild?
It was really cool. It was really cool. It was like...
And you were very annoyed, if we're being honest, because you couldn't say anything.
Yeah, like... Oh, okay, yeah. I suppose I took his question as how did I feel when it finally released this week. But if we're talking about how did I feel when the flight build, the co-op flight build leaked, yeah, I was irked because it was like we'd been working on it for so long and we just could not share much. So I was seeing all these cool creations and I was like, oh, well, we'll get our time in the sun, no biggie. And it was just, you couldn't say anything. We couldn't. The NDA prevented us. But, we got the glory of being the first out of the gate in terms of having stuff ready. But I've already seen in a mere 5 days since it launched, 4 days, people have already remade Lockout. They've remade Burial Mounds. It's insane. So annoyed that I couldn't talk about it, but understand that I've had the privilege to actually help shape it. So that's a good thing.
Favorite non-Sikamikanico map?
Of Halo Infinite, so I'm presuming that's what the question's about right now.
Maybe the Forge ones.
Yeah, I'm going to go out of people that have created maps. In terms of competitive map, I would probably say Eternity by Payman. Incredible design. That guy has got an eye for color and shape. Like, he is really good. He's one to watch. He's making me want to up my game significantly. Yeah, he's really good. But I would also give a big shout out to Repulse Soccer by Bob is here. If you want to get your proper old school Halo fun customs on, it's really, really good fun. Like, it's a soccer game, 300% speed, slide and sword, and you've got a repulsor, a kill ball, so you can kill people with the ball, but you've got to score goals as well, and it's all tracked and the ball drops back in. It is brilliant fun.
Okay.
Better than Griffball.
What does 343 Industries hope to learn from Forge Beta?
I think the beta is an opportunity for them to get the tool out and actually, get beyond the limited testing. Because even though there was a significant group of us by the end, getting it and finding those bugs and seeing the creations, I think it's now about listening and solving some of those early bugs that have made themselves apparent. And then it's about more canvases, more options. I want to see water. I want to see blocks of water that I can place. I want to see waterfall animations. I want them to just go absolutely nuts with it. They've made a game engine within Halo. And this is what the focus should have been on all the time. Not on competitive, not on, the serious, sweaty stuff. It should have been on the modding type, Minecraft-y, creative, fun side of the game. Because that's where the real value is, in my opinion. So, yeah, fun stuff.
Okay. How complete is Forge? Will there be a future update adding more features to Forge? I mean, surely.
Yes. I can't give you a percentage, but yes, there is tons more to come at some point in the future.
Do you know of any maps, etc., coming up in the next few months?
Yes, I do.
When do you think we will see a God of War map?
When someone makes one. You never know.
A God of War map.
Someone will
What
make...
What's a God of War map?
It'll just take some of the themes of, like, maybe God of War's shack, and it'll be the forest in the woods that he lives in and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what it'll be. Good question.
Okay.
No, a God of War map is going to be when he was having sex with those two ladies in the boat in the first one.
In the bath, in the hot tub. Remember Will Ferrell? Saturday Night Live. In the hot tub with Rachel Dratch. In the hot tub. Somnia. Happy Saturday, guys. Since Gears of War film discussion is happening this episode, I thought I'd throw another one out to discuss. What? The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's...
YouTube's down. YouTube's back. Welcome back, YouTube. It went down for a second. We didn't go down. I could see and hear you guys, no problem. But YouTube itself actually went down for about 3 or 4 seconds. Hello, everyone. We're back.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that.
You might have to refresh. Yeah, YouTube said, "Oh shit, sorry," and then it came back up.
No, we're back. It's back on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, I think Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is too much like State of Decay. It's just pointless.
So yeah, to me, a State of Decay show would just be The Walking Dead, like literally The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They're doing a Gran Turismo movie. Could you do a Forza show?
What the hell would be a Gran Turismo movie?
I don't know.
Speed is about avoiding cops and chases and this. Gran Turismo is just like a Gran Turismo movie is just go watch like NASCAR or something. Like just go watch an actual race of cars. Look at that's the Gran Turismo movie. Like I don't understand. Like it's a racing sim. Like Need for Speed I could understand just because of what that game is about. Yes, it's a racing game, but it's about chasing cops and modding cars. Fast and the Furious, basically. It's effectively Fast and the Furious. So I understand why they thought it was a great idea to have a Need for Speed movie. I'm not saying it was, but I can understand why.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo? Like, what?
Pointless.
And this is me, this isn't, again, not PlayStation versus Xbox. I wouldn't want a Forza Motorsport movie.
Would the Forza car be a character?
Like, what? Cars are inanimate objects. Like, I don't know. To me, that seems, have a God of War show, have a God of War movie, have a Horizon Zero Dawn, do all of those as movies and shows. Gran Turismo?
Yeah, it's weird.
My God. It's just weird. I mean, Doom has already had a movie, but maybe do it again and have a good movie. Maybe. Isn't it funny that Doom movie, if you go and have a look at the actors in that movie, a lot of now big name actors.
Yeah, I know. Carl
like
Urban.
the Rock is in that movie, and Carl Urban, and it's like imagine if you do Doom again now with those same actors who they are now though.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like those same actors were still okay actors back then. That was just a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Like I think a Doom movie could work. I think. If done properly. Like if you did a Doom movie. So back when I was a kid, there was talk of a Doom movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was going to be based on the first game.
Interesting.
I think a Doom movie that closely follows the first game would be good. It's all about going to hell and you're in hell and there's demons and I don't know. I think a Doom movie could work. I reckon.
I'd give it a go. I can't really think of another Xbox-centric IP that would really
Dishonored.
tick me as a good choice. Yeah. Fair answer.
I was gonna say Prey because that's a
Prey.
cool sci-fi movie, but they'd have to get a new name. Just get used.
Yeah.
I mean, Redfall would make a good TV show.
If they all had those powers, but we don't know
on
that
the
yet.
on the CW because they all talk like they are.
Yeah. That's our suggestions.
Good choice.
Right, next one, please, for the love of God. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes in.
Yeah. Speed this up, bro.
Kay Asante saying, tell Nick I'd love to do the show. I'm in Ghana on vacation. Be back in the States 2 weeks, hence bad connection. Okay. Yep, we'll organise that. DeoGame. What's up, gents? This week marked the 2-year anniversary of when most folks got their launch Series X's. Needless to say, this gen has had some major ups. A notable increase in investment in content, the most powerful and affordable SKUs, a greater user experience, serious commitment to improving older titles, some excellent games, fucking Game Pass. But if you look at Twitter and the trades, the calls are mostly the same. Where are the games? While I think the media loves to overblow this by design, these complaints aren't fully unjustified either. We were, after all, supposed to be playing Starfield this weekend, and while Pentiment is coming and by all means looks superb, I won't swear again, the 1-2-3 delay of Forza Redfall and Starfield really stung this holiday season. This leads to my question. Let's say you were Phil Spencer circa E3 2021, and Phil Spencer of today comes back and says our 2022 holiday is delayed. What would you do? Would you stock up on Game Pass titles? Would you money hat, strike more aggressive deals, throw 80k support studios at Starfield? Ultimately, I feel they've handled the gaps rather well with smart Game Pass pickups, but I also might have tried for a more aggressive co-marketing deal with a couple of titles this year, maybe like Sonic and Midnight Suns. P.S. The Gran Turismo movie is about a real race car driver who trained himself playing GT, apparently. Really? Oh my God.
How up their own arse are they about that game, man?
Is that really what that movie's about? and Jerry Halliwell's in it. So she plays what, like the dude's mum? Like, oh my God, that's even worse than I could have imagined.
Based off a true story, right? Because I think there is a guy that actually did do that, but man.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a pilot.
You need to
I'm sure there's
your mic.
I'm sure there's a pilot. I'm sure there's a pilot that trained himself on flight sim. Does that mean we go and make a flight sim movie? My God. Yeah. Anyway, what would I do if I was Phil Spencer? Yes, I would have done more Game Pass deals with big third-party games to make up for it. That's what I would have done. Yep, Sonic Frontiers. Put it on Game Pass. Pay whatever Sega wants. Get Sonic Frontiers on Game Pass. Get, whatever.
All of the deals.
Get it all on
all
there.
of them. All of the deals.
Yep.
100%.
Would have picked one or two of the biggest games for third party coming in fall and got them on Game Pass. Yep. That's what I would have done. Because you can't just make a game appear out of thin air, so...
Yeah.
What other choice? 2 more questions and one we've basically already talked about. Ashen, the Ash Cohen 09. Question for Nick. What have you made of God of War Ragnarok so far? I covered that in depth.
Yeah.
Question for both. Gears of War movie. Dave Batista seems quite intent on taking part. Do you think he would make a good Marcus Phoenix? Yes, we do. We also talked about that at great length, Ash Cohen. So we're not trying to skip your question, but we did cover both those questions at length. Maybe we need to get back into the habit of
we need to get back into a lot of habits, to be fair.
Yeah. I like God of War Ragnarok. It's good. It's really good. I'll probably play it, although it's 26 degrees today. It's actually the first nice day in a while, so I may go outside a little bit, but I'll probably be playing God of War later today. Not Jack. Playing through God of War Ragnarok, I couldn't help but think that while the game is great, it's definitely following the beats of Marvel movies. With the unanimous acclaim the game has gotten, do you think most of games media wants gaming to match the same direction as Hollywood films? I thought people liked the idea of expressing how games can do different things than film, not just copying the expensive CGI and semi-decent stories. We also talked about this. Like I said, I don't like that that's the path Sony seems to be taking the industry down. Like, they're not exploiting the uniqueness of the video game medium. They're just saying, here, watch how cool and amazing these movies look, these cutscenes. Like, I don't care. Just give me a fun, enjoyable game to play. And God of War is, when it's not shoving the movies down your throat. Like, I've said openly, I loved The Order 1886.
You did?
Because again, when that game wasn't shoving movies down your throat, the actual game was good. Great gunplay, stunning graphics. It was a cool game. But it just was trying to be a movie. It's just movies, cutscenes. Like, come on. Like, we shouldn't be relying on movies for everything. Video games are different. They're unique. They're interactive. They can do things to the player that movies can't.
That's what gaming is great. That's what's great about gaming.
Use it. And Sony has some talented studios, which makes it even more disappointing that they're the ones that are all about movies, when they could be so much more.
They could be pushing the boundary of what gaming.
Yeah. Sony clearly gives them the resources they need and the freedom they need to do whatever they want. Sony is all about sniffing their own farts. So why wouldn't they want their studios doing something unique in the medium so they can sniff their farts even more and talk about how Sony is single-handedly elevating the medium of gaming? Perfect opportunity. Why wouldn't they do it? But they just want movies. They just want you to watch your movies. They just want you to watch more movies. Let's watch movies.
It's a bit boring.
Just go make a God of War movie. I'd watch it. I love Greek mythology. I love Clash of the Titans. The original Clash of the Titans. I'd watch a God of War movie. Just give me a God of War movie. Don't force me to watch the movies in your game. I've got Freya in my ear. I've got Atreus in my ear telling me what's going on. That's okay. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I don't have to watch your movies. Anyway.
He's right.
Oh boy, over 3 hours.
Yep. I am burned out, bro. Kill me.
Oh man, these timestamps.
Yeah. I'm glad that's not my job.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. That's it. We're done.
Oh,
That's all, folks.
that was the last question, Jesse.
That's the last question.
Rejoice. Rejoice in
Yep.
the Lord.
What? Somebody say something.
So don't forget, folks, www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra. Go there, grab yourself a sample pack, get yourself a nice shaker, and use the code XboxEra, 10% off. Mate, you won't regret it. Amazing shakes. Amazing.
Wow.
They taste so nice.
What a beautiful story.
I'm actually being deadly serious. Like this
I know
isn't
you
a
are.
like I've
This
been
isn't a
pushing.
troll.
I've been pushing for this for a long time because I drink Control anyway already.
You have actually been pushing this for a very, very long time.
I have. Yep.
True.
10% off. There you go.
Right. that's
Anything
it,
else we're going to
folks.
say, or are we just going straight to goodbye?
Yeah, I think we're going to call it. Stick around to the side. What we got coming next week, Jesse? Anything exciting? We've got
Well, there's a video game
Somerville.
called Pentiment releasing. I hope to have a review for that at the time everyone else does. Who knows? We'll see. You are working on a Somerville review. We also
True.
have. Oh god, I'm sure Ferry will find some more Garfield games to review. But yeah, we've got lots coming, so keep an eye on XboxEra.com.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Ciao for now.
Drink
Now
control.
on Control for now.
Podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.